afternoon, and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. If you miss anything, go back, get caught up at your leisure. You'll find the show both on iTunes and in our own audio vault as soon as we wrap it up. Email us if you want, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, attach A Cameron Show, the WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. And hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Hope you guys are well. Good to have everybody on board. Good Balls McWednesday to you. All right. I think the Noles are going to continue to improve their defensive statistics in this game on Saturday. That's in part because Miami's offensive line is woeful. So it's weird how these teams, record-wise and personnel-wise, in terms of issues, mirror one another. I've thought about it all week.
Got a very important question for you to start off
right
with
out
Balls
the gates.
McWednesday.
Here we go. Boom.
What is the race to?
20?
Wow. 20. 20's going to get the job done, huh?
You know, you can't account for turnovers when you do that, when you're just projecting. I like to try to when we go for, you know, when you make it when you make the number and you're engaging in that exercise, I tend to do it as if both teams played fairly mistake-free. And so what's weird about that is I don't think these two teams will play mistake-free in this game, so I should incorporate it the other way, but I'll stick to my formula and just say both teams play their best. I feel like 20-24 gets you a win. I don't really, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's not in the 30s.
No, it doesn't feel that way to me. I mean, it may very well end up being that way, but I would project the race being to maybe, if you'd like, maybe 21, 22, somewhere in there. I just feel – I said on Monday and on the War Chant report that I thought I predicted 20-16, something like that. 21-17, 20-16, something like that. I could just see a pretty low-scoring game, points being difficult to come by, of course, because I think, first of all, Miami's defense, I give credit where credit's due. I like their personnel. It's an aggressive defensive scheme. They play hard. They're physical. Their linebackers are very good. We're going to have a real hard time with their ends. So that's all stuff that really troubles me when I'm looking at our offense against their defense. But then when I look at it from, if I try to look at it through their vantage point, and I think of what I would be worried about if I were Miami, well, the same thing they've been worried about all year long. Their quarterback play is wildly inconsistent. Their two tackles have been awful. They haven't been able to sustain anything with consistency on the ground. They, what are they? The 80-something ranked offense in the country. They're just not very good. So you suddenly have a situation where they can't take advantage of some of our weaknesses, because I don't think we're an elite defense by any stretch. We're not even a good defense by any stretch. We are a defense that's playing better, and we have a few players that are pretty consistent. Marvin, for example, is wildly consistent. He's always good, and I don't think Miami's going to do a good job of blocking him. And if they have to double, that opens things up for other people. Okay, gotcha. So I just see both these offenses getting bogged down on the regular in this game, and the thing turns into a real fight for field position. It turns into a game where both punters will play a critical role. The ability to showcase patience, sound fundamental football is not something that is used to describe either one of these two teams. Whoever does a better job of the little things, of buttoning up, of understanding that living to fight another day with a punt and flipping field position is a big damn deal. And it's okay. It's okay to do that, to not try to force the issue. When you force the issue, that's when turnovers happen. We know Miami thrives off of turnovers. I mean, we've watched this whole turnover chain thing happen over the last 3 years, but it's true. If you look at them, they really have been able to thrive off of turnovers. Last year's Florida State team couldn't get a turnover to save their life. A lot of that's luck. This year, they've done a better job than the vast majority of their opponents in getting turnovers. And again, you can't rely on that going into a game. So projecting it, when I try to project the number, it's really difficult. So I think it's a low-scoring game. I think you gotta play real smart, and hope that somebody forces an issue out of frustration, a lack of patience, does something dumb. And then I think you have to hit on a couple big plays. Everybody wants to do that going into a game, but there are teams that are able to convert explosive plays. And we're an offense that really relies on explosive plays. We don't sustain a lot of drives. And we have a few guys that are willing or are capable of doing that, making you miss and going the distance. Tamorrion Terry comes to mind, for example. I think you're going to have to hit a few big plays. I think those plays probably come out of the wild cam. I think you can scheme them up out of the wild cam, something non-traditional, something where a player, is fooled, doesn't have eye discipline. The extra blocker comes into play, and you get somebody out in space, and they make a play, and all of a sudden the momentum shifts. Momentum in these rivalry games, we saw it just a year ago. It's absolutely huge. When it got on Florida State's side and we were really rolling, I was in that stadium. It got very quiet. It looked like, for all intents and purposes, Miami was dead in the water. We let them back in it, and that place was just chomping at the bit to have a reason. They were salivating. I mean, I was surrounded by Miami fans who were just gobsmacked at the fact that they couldn't get anything going, and that this Florida State team that they were certain they were going to boat race on that afternoon had gotten out to the big lead. And when DJ Matthews took that punt back, I remember watching him run into the end zone, and they were about to head for the hills. Hell, they were booing their team and throwing things, as Miami fans like to do. And it was embarrassing. Yeah, I thought, oh, my God, Miami's about to get boat raced here. This whole thing has done a 180. And then, inexplicably, like I've said before, we made the decision to drop DeAndre Francois back on a third down play. And, I would have run a draw. I would have played conservatively. I'd have been patient. We had the advantage in every way, shape, or form. I would have punted there and would have said, go earn it. Instead, you get a sack fumble. Place goes ape you-know-what. They're going nuts, and everything shifted, and you couldn't stop it. It was like an avalanche. You were just trying to catch your breath. You could see our players flustered. And I think both these teams are kind of prone to that. Emotional, young, have not had a lot of stability, have not been able to sustain success for any length of time the last few years. Neither squad has. I understand Miami's in a first-year situation with their coach, but they haven't had a reason to be emboldened and have a bunch of confidence, the kind of confidence you see weather the storm when things go south. That hasn't happened, and we certainly haven't had it either. So who can keep their wits in an emotional game like this? It's going to be interesting because neither team's MO is to do that right now.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that I watch the Bucs a lot, and so I see a lot of bad teams, and because the Bucs are, I'm guaranteed I see one on a week-to-week basis. How many years running now? But I feel like this season has been an NFL season where it's who makes the fewest mistakes. You don't necessarily have to go win the game. Just don't lose the game because we play a lot of bad teams in the schedule. I mean, that's what the ACC is. It's kind of like, picks 8 through 20 in the NFL draft. The previous year they were average. They could have been 9-7 if everything went the right way. They could have been 4-12 if everything went the wrong way. And there's somewhere in between, 7-9. 6-10 is probably where they land. That's what I feel like we are in the grand scheme of college football. That's what I feel like Miami is in the grand scheme of college football. And what matters when two teams like that face off on a Sunday? It's field position, explosive plays, and turnovers. I mean, I feel like I'm hearing the ghost of Dirk Cutter talking to my ear, but that's how I feel about this game. I'm afraid of turning the ball over, giving Miami a short field. I'm afraid of explosive plays now that Jeff Thomas is back in the lineup. But I think, if we win the field position battle, they could hit on an explosive play, but it only gets them to the 50. What are the chances they score a touchdown on that drive? At that point, still 30% at best. So if you have field position in your favor and you don't do anything crazy or stupid, then you're going to be in this game to the very end.
One thing, and I hope they really stress this, I'm sure they have at varying points in practice, and it doesn't always, especially when it comes to players in the secondary, it does not always reveal itself to be true or show that it's sinking in. I feel like, now the fourth quarter aside last week, I feel like our linebackers and certainly our down linemen do a much better job of tackling. They get their hands on somebody and they take them down. But boy, members of our secondary love to go for the quote-unquote kill shot, and A, it gets them in trouble in terms of targeting, but B, countless times you don't see arms accompanying the tackle effort. You just see a shoulder, and it drives me nuts. And Dallas is the kind of player that will bounce off of that. He is a strong kid. He's a really good football player. And that's where big plays happen. You got, a 7-yard gain turns into a 40-yard gain when you do dumb things like that, when you come up to make a tackle and you're just trying to deliver a blow, but you don't wrap up. Man, I know it's easier said than done, and it's cliche to an extent. Fundamental football here, guys. Get the guy to the ground.
Well, even a 3-yard gain turns into a 15 on a 3rd and 12 because they call a draw. Mm-hmm. But that's a crippling play for momentum, for the way everything is in the stadium. It's just that's the thing you got to protect here. And I hate that I feel like we can't attack Miami, but I feel like that's the way that they would look at this game coming up here too, which is don't do anything crazy. And crazy stuff may happen. I mean, look at this rivalry the last handful of years. The team that feels really good entering the fourth quarter doesn't win the football game hardly at all.
Yeah.
So, and the team that dominates from 20 to 20 hasn't won this football game regularly in quite some time. So it's just, to me, I wish we could go into this game. I wish I could feel like, as a fan, it's well within our control to go out and go take it. But I feel like there's a ton of qualifiers out there. Unless this newly comprised offensive line is that much better and has gotten you to a steady below average play-for-play grade, maybe you've got a chance. But I still think it's going to be porous. I don't know what the situation at left guard is going to be if we're going to have Dante Lucas available or if it's going to, be Brady Scott. I guess Willie will shed some light on that tomorrow.
Really important that it be Dante Lucas.
Right. Yeah. Especially with a true freshman left tackle. It's just, you could see where they're going to create a lot of problems, and this game may have a ton of TV timeouts and incompletions.
Early in this game, something to watch for. You just played a Syracuse team that did not offer up an awful lot in the interior. Now, Syracuse does have upper echelon ends that you have to take care of, right? But in the interior, Syracuse didn't offer up as much. They didn't even offer up as much as, say, NC State, which really gave you problems, right? Miami's going to give you problems, both on the edge and inside. Their front seven is going to give you problems. Physically, this is the most talented group we've seen, aside from Clemson, and even then, that's a good group for Miami.
Yeah.
When you go from the game we just had against Syracuse and you ratchet up the level of competition and physicality and speed that you're going to see in Miami's defense, early, how overwhelmed are the younger players of that group? So Dante Lucas is a freshman. You want him to play, but he's not seen anything like this save for Clemson, and we didn't handle that very well.
Right, Baselli's even green. And
right.
They like him, but, it's just game-to-game experience.
Different level of athleticism and strength here, and how overwhelmed are they? What can you run early on?
Wake for a half if you're the center. Wake for a half, and then Syracuse.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But this is quite another.
Yeah, this is a different animal. Again, I'm not sitting here, if you flip it, I'm not sitting here telling you Miami's going to have overwhelming success blocking it up against Florida State, because they haven't. They haven't been able to sustain that against really anybody. Go back to the Central Michigan game, they could barely do it. So, it just has the feeling, if we were, well, I can't even introduce that, but if you're talking about this game in slang terms, they would describe this matchup between two weaklings in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And it feels a little bit like that for the two offenses going against these defenses.
Listen, we have explosive play potential. They have explosive play potential. So it's not like that doesn't exist as part of the equation. So this isn't a perfect analogy. But I feel like this is how maybe Army and Navy feel playing against each other in a rivalry game. Because you feel like on offense, while there is a threat over the top, and quarterback play is certainly better than an option quarterback at throwing the ball. Not much, but enough. It feels like you got to put all these things together in order to achieve, that 80-yard drive, that 75-yard scoring drive.
I see very few of those happening.
Right,
in this game,
right.
Yeah.
And what's the important thing in Army-Navy every year? It's, how many short fields do you give up because you miss a pitch or an exchange or something along those lines? A 4th and 1 that you don't get, and you tried it on your own 39. So now they get a short field. It's still not a surefire thing for that option offense going the other way, but that's how it feels to me. You got to stack some things together in order to envision consistent offensive success. And if you can't do that, then all of the little things matter so much more. Like catch the damn football on a punt return. We were a little bit better at that last week.
Much
we
better
got to be
at that.
way
I think
better
there
at
had
that
been a
this
point
week.
of emphasis. Perhaps it was brought up at practice that you actually have to catch these things. There is a fair catch rule. He can't hit you. Go catch the ball.
I know it wasn't him, but I think Corey Clark should feel like it was him, because it seemed like once he asked the question and he caught the eye of Willie Taggart, dude started catching punts a little bit more.
I give Corey credit. I'm glad he brought it up. Like, hey, not only are you bad at all these other things, your guy doesn't catch punts either. Can we talk about that for a second?
If he was a center fielder, he would have been pulled for the Well, the fifth batter of the game.
I'm going to need you to. You know what's crazy about that is we have lamented the loss of Greg Reed in that position for a long time now, like going on a decade. Damn it, man.
Yeah, it used to be, man, we miss Greg Reed. We're okay, but we miss Greg Reed.
Now it's just like, can we get somebody that's anywhere close to Greg Reed?
We're the Titanic lady. It's been 84 years.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Contests and more.
The Seminoles have it. Another #1 is done.
Check out our next Sports Monster watch party next Wednesday night for the season opener against Pitt.
Oh, yes, you've thought about it, but now it's time to enjoy the moss-drenched live oak, rolling hills, and pristine greens of Southwood Golf Club. Our friends at Southwood Golf Club offer individual, family, and student memberships, and now offer the all-in membership. That's right, never pay a cart fee when you play. Don't forget, at Southwood Golf Club, it's not just about the golf. Hit the clubhouse for brunch, or maybe enjoy trivia night, live music, happy hour, and all-you-can-eat night specials, too. For membership information or to join right now, just call 850-942-4653. Southwood Golf Club is ready to make you a member. 850-942-4653.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shara Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Shara Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
It may technically be autumn, but DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener are running out a sizzling hot sale. Cordless deals that can't be beat. If you buy 2 select tools, get a dual 5-amp starter kit free. If you want to go bigger and better, buy a 2-piece premium brushless hammer drill impact kit, and you can pick a select free bare tool and get a 3rd 5-amp battery free. That's 3 tools, 3 5-amp batteries. Or buy a 3-speed brushless impact kit and get a 2nd impact kit for free. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, with the pros and serious do-it-yourselfer shop. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. Oh no, this car ride's taking forever. I hate blindfolds. No more of these. Where are we going?
Bumpus Local 349.
Yay! I love Bumpus Local 349. It's a local business.
I wish they had piñatas.
Me too. But I think I'm going to order the Dolphin Reuben instead.
You know, it's not really dolphin.
Yes, it must be mahi, right?
Delicious.
Yes.
Eat local, be local, and drink local at Bumpus Local 349.
Help me with my blindfold.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you'd like a laid-back atmosphere, the 7th Hill Tap Room is your spot. 24 craft brew taps, plus wine options as well. And when you want to watch the pros, enjoy half off all craft drafts all day on Sundays. So, whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Fire the cannons.
Fire them cannons!
97.9 ESPN Radio is Tallahassee's flagship station for Tampa Bay Buccaneers football.
Play action fake sold by Winston, throws toward the end zone. It is a caught ball. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Godwin's got a touchdown catch against Carolina.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers football on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you in part by Bagel Market Bistro. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Can I play with madness? Holy Jesus.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Sorry. I was a little behind the 8 ball there. Racing about trying to get back organized. But extra maiden is never a bad thing. If you want to crank it, you can. Here we go. I didn't think you'd double down. Game 7 tonight. All right. I am ready for that. As an aside, you and I have talked about it around the office today, the various elements of Game 7 and how this World Series has been interesting. It's been a weird World Series, but we do end up getting a Game 7 after a long season, and it somewhat saddens me that baseball will now retire. It will go. It did not go gently into that good night, though. It did give us some drama. It did fight. It did give us 7 games in the World Series.
It did. So what are you saying? Am I sad that baseball's done?
I get a little sad that baseball's done. But no, I didn't ask you this because we didn't talk about the interference call and how weird that whole situation was, where in the top of the 7th inning, sort of one outlet wrote today, it went off the rails there. But as you go through and look at this, as Trey Turner's called out on that play, now listen, it doesn't really have an impact on the game. So thankfully,
in the moment, it felt like it was going to determine that, winner or loser, that Houston was going to come back, win, walk it off, and this is going to be talked about for decades.
Well, Joe Buck rightfully said that's potentially a series-changing call. Yeah, it did feel that way in the moment. You're right. And I thought, oh, no, I sure hope not. Here's my biggest problem with the whole deal. Whether you think Turner should have been called out or not, whether, the rule being Turner that, caused his interference with the throw by running too far inside of the baseline, that's what they were, you rewatch the video, make your own conclusion whether that's true or not, whether his path was really too far inside or not. What I didn't like is, why did it take 10 minutes? We don't need to do this, man. This is once again review for the sake of review. And as I understand it, with that review, there is a time limit on this.
Well, and it's not a reviewable play.
It's not a reviewable play.
It's a judgment call.
Right.
Now, from what I understand in watching the MLB Tonight coverage, I saw a little bit, not the whole thing of Joe Torre's explanation. I couldn't really sit through it. Although I think he did a great job of managing the personalities there between Ken Rosenthal, the people of baseball, the umpires. I mean, that guy, what an expert.
By the way, hold on. Let's do this real quick. Let's go step by step through this. At the time you're watching when they say they're taking it to review.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know? Now I had my TV down really low. I was laying in bed watching the game.
Yeah, so was I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't turn it up. I may have missed it, but I never heard them say until later what exactly they were reviewing, because I couldn't remember. At the time I thought, well, is that reviewable?
No, as I understand it, they were reviewing the rule book to see if it was a protestable play, because the Nationals wanted to play the game under protest and maybe it was denied. I think, honestly, here's what I think it really happened. Personally, this is not what the broadcaster said. I think they were trying to figure out a way to reverse the call. They were trying to find some loophole in the rule book and trying to make some calls and say, hey, can we fix this?
Yeah, we screwed this up.
Can we please fix this
This is
play?
potentially a problem.
And they found no way to do it. And that's why it took, I think the review legitimately took 4 minutes, 56 seconds, something like that. It felt like 15 minutes. But I think they were trying to find a way out, and they just realized we can't do anything about this. We've got to let this ridiculous call stand, and that's, you hear my opinion on it.
But here's the deal. The Nationals were said to have challenged the call, for lack of a better term, like it's football, and the challenge is not allowed. I just don't know what took 10 minutes. You're freezing a pitcher is what you're doing.
Well, you're not just freezing the pitcher on the mound, you're freezing Strasburg, who's in the dugout.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are being affected by this inordinately long review, to say nothing of the fact in the midst of all of this that my man Martinez is busy getting thrown out.
That was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
That was That's a tirade, and it's so deserved. Listen, man, if you want to abide by that rule, then every runner that's a right-handed batter should be out almost on principle, unless it's a single and they're rounding the bag because then they follow the rule to a T. But this is not a throw from home plate to first base. And so in the spirit of the rule, you can't make that call in that situation. I understand what the rule book says.
Yeah, the rule book says that's the correct call.
And it gives Holbrook leeway to make the call, but it's still absurd. It's still ridiculous. I mean, they showed a clip of Altuve correctly a half inning later running even more inside the base path. So he should have been out without a throw. Shouldn't have mattered whether he was actually foot on the bag before the ball, after the ball.
They argued that the judgment of the umpire was that 1 foot on the grass from Turner and running into the first baseman's glove over the bag. They argued that was intent.
There's no bleeping way that's intent. That's somebody in a World Series trying to leg out an infield hit just like he did in the first inning, which, mind you, he ran the same path on. But what they're claiming now is interference, that he got in the way of the throw. That throw is so crappy, it's ridiculous. It's like last year, here's a Florida State-Miami tie-in for you. Last year, the flag they threw on the end zone, it's a toss pitch play. It's a trick play, a gadget play, and the throw is so bad that our guy in trail coverage bumps into the receiver. Okay, so I understand by the letter of the law, that's pass interference. You really going to throw that flag?
Well, what's funny is, you get into whether or not you should, whether you can and should are two different things. You're right. I remember that, by the way, last year on that play, the two Miami fans sitting to my right were like, sorry, dude, that's ridiculous.
It's a bailout call.
It is a bailout call.
It's the definition of a bailout call. If it's the catcher and Trey Turner is in the way by running to the left of the baseline,
then you call it.
He closes the window. He shrinks the window. You have to call it. But that's a throw from 45 degrees or 30 degrees between
I just
first
was
base.
shocked they called it. I was shocked that what are you doing? You got to remember where you are. It's the World freaking Series.
This is the man who called the outfield fly rule.
I know.
And he called it. He wasn't. I looked at that my favorite image of that, which is a Photoshop of the infield stretching almost all the way to the warning track.
Warning track, yeah.
I put that back out there last night. But he made that call as the left field umpire?
It's crazy. It's really crazy when you go back and watch that.
They have too many guys that go AWOL. They are trying to institute robot umpires. They are trying to get fired between Joe West and this freaking guy and Angel Hernandez and CB Bucknor. They've got a who's who of people who make up stuff.
Well, and Hirschbeck, and
Yes.
Why do we know all their names? Think about it. We know all their names because there have been these famous moments where you're going, this guy, it's an ump show.
Because they want us to.
Yeah.
Because they want to be a part of the act. They want to be a part of the circus.
I thought the weirdest thing was that, and it really, again, thankfully, it didn't have an effect on the game. They go on to win. It's Game 7 tonight. We're all excited to watch this. All hands on deck. Should be dramatic. But Joe Torre's sitting there trying to explain this, and I almost felt bad for him. At the end of the day, when we find out that after all of this time, they really weren't – there was never a replay at all?
Right. Yeah. No, it was a complete waste of time.
That there was never a replay.
Like, okay, so this is akin to in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and you got Kawhi with the ball or LeBron with the ball.
I want to say this lends credence to your theory. Sorry. When they finally said there was never a replay because it wasn't reviewable, they finally admitted, no, we weren't really reviewing anything. Mm-hmm. That tells me they were having a long conversation trying to vet the situation.
How can we get out of this?
Yeah, like that tells me that, okay, everybody thinks we're replaying this. Even though we can't by rule be replaying this. It's a judgment call. So, but everybody thinks we are. Let them think that, fellas, that is a botched call from our boy. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do here?
Well, and
that makes sense.
In minute 3 or minute 4 of this ridiculous sequence,
it takes forever.
They show Holbrook standing there, and his face is red, and he starts shaking his head no. And I wonder what's being said because he's got the headset. I wonder what's being said that it makes him shake his head no. They must have been debating something that he didn't agree with, or because he certainly wasn't shaking his head saying I made the wrong call. An umpire never says that. Jim Joyce is the only man who ever admitted to making a bad call, and he was weeping and he hugged Galarraga because he blew the perfect game for that guy. But at least he has a soul. Like, these guys don't have a soul.
Well,
and to me, it would be akin to there's maybe 45 seconds left to go. Game 6 NBA Finals, and they call a carry. They call it really. You're going to call that now. Something you could call every time throughout the course of the season.
All the time. I really do believe the magnitude of the game, what part of the game you're in, does matter. I know ideally you call everything the same throughout start to finish. That's not the reality. Game 7 or Game 6 of the World Series, I'm going to refrain from calling that. If that's a Tuesday night, middle of the season, and I think I see it, I'm more apt to call it. Here,
Well, but my argument would be this. You don't ever hardly call a carry anyway throughout it's not even like a first quarter call where you don't make it in the fourth quarter.
I'm just saying, if you're inclined to make that call, you really do. I mean, I let the guys figure out the game.
You better know.
You better damn well know.
You better know, and he didn't know, and he didn't care. And that's the most ridiculous thing. And this umpiring crew this series has been dog you-know-what. And they're supposed to be the best 6. They're supposed to be the best 6 Major League Baseball has to offer.
They don't get helped out by the modern amenities that we have as we watch sports. They don't get helped out by the fact that everything can be slowed down frame by frame. And I'm always reminded of that when I'm watching ball strike. They get hurt by that. I mean, if you've ever sat behind home plate, even just sat behind home plate at a game with great seats, you see how difficult that can be. And if you've ever stood where an umpire stands, you see you're going to miss some calls, especially anything at the knees, especially if somebody's capable of painting the black, and these are the best pitchers in the world, you're going to miss a few. What happens is that those misses are heightened by the fact that we see it 6 times and they show it frame by frame. Plus, they have the little box there now that shows everybody. It doesn't show you the depth, but it shows everybody like, oh, he missed this.
They'll get there. ESPN's done a good job of instituting that.
They need to get there, though, because I think a lot of times these guys are done a disservice. Here's where I'll defend them a little bit. You see those ones that the ball ends up outside the box, but the depth isn't there to tell you when did that happen. I mean, he may have caught that corner on his way into the outside. These guys are good enough to do that. So I do kind of feel for them in a way, but it does feel like we're inching closer to robot umps. I mean, we're getting there, or strike zone anyhow.
It's a call it's unbelievable to me because they have the perfect view down the line. Listen, man, Turner is a right-handed batter. What's he supposed to do? Take 2 steps out of his way? Everybody should be a left-handed batter then. If this is the rule, he doesn't try and cheat. He's not 2 steps on the grass. We've all seen that guy who's running along the grass the entire way. And then, it's a base hit, so nobody thinks anything of it. There's no throw on the play because it's Juan Pierre or Luis Castillo back in the day. Right? It's too fast, doesn't matter. This dude is still on the dirt, and he gets over to the right half of the bag with his left leg. That's important, too, as the throw arrives. Whereas Altuve, the next half inning, has his right foot, which is the one, that's... So he's even closer to the left side of the bag on a similar play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, too, because it ended up being talked about quite a bit today. We're talking about it right now. And yet, here we are going into Game 7 tonight, where I really do think the drama will be ratcheted up, not just because it's Game 7, but because of the condition of both pitching staffs, where they're going to have to utilize so many guys, including guys who just pitched, including guys who are potential Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, guys that are all-star caliber, being asked to do things that they've never been asked to do. Like if Cole pitches tonight, and he will, he's going to be going in there on fewer days rest than he's ever had before. And how will he respond? Well, he thinks, as he said earlier today, that it's a blast. He can't wait. He's mentally prepared to pitch. Meanwhile, you've got other guys whose careers suggest they'll be ready to go. But when you look inside the numbers on days in which they're on short rest, they don't get anybody out. And so you go, well, do you use them here? I mean, managers have big decisions to make, and then you have really unreliable bullpens.
It tells you how bad this call was, though, that everything you said is true, that last night's game was a lot of fun to watch outside of that 7-minute sequence, and we're still talking about it. It tells you how bad it was and how meaningful that call was.
And then you see the home run, and you're like, man, I wonder how that affected the pitchers.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You're like, well,
and Washington still gets cheated out of a run there because they wipe one off the base paths, but then they blow it up to 7-2, and I think at that point MLB just goes, oh, thank God.
And the resiliency of teams on the road in this series. It
should be a classic
this
tonight.
This is good. Should be. Probably won't be. We expect it to be a classic.
Right,
it'll be
6-0 in the first.
It'll be Braves Cardinals. 10-0 out the gates.
No, that's never happened before.
Oh, that's true. First time in the history of the game. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Scherzer, who missed his last start with a neck injury, there's a certain focus tonight's hitters should have for Scherzer and Greinke, explains ESPN's Ryan Howard.
If I'm a Nationals hitter, I'm going to look to try to eliminate Zach Greinke's changeup if I can, and try to go after the fastball and sliders and whatnot. With Scherzer, I'm going to try to look to eliminate his changeup and slider if I can, and just try to narrow it down to 2 pitches of his fastball and curveball.
Ryan Howard on Golic and Wingo, Game 7, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NBA, a sigh of relief today for the Hawks. Star guard Trae Young felt improvement in his sprained right ankle, and there are no plans for an MRI, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Young could return to the active lineup as soon as next week. No Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers tonight against the Jazz, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV. It's the first game Leonard will miss with LA due to load management. He'll play tomorrow against the Spurs. Coach Doc Rivers says the franchise will determine when Leonard will rest on a case-by-case basis, and there's no set plan to rest him on one end of a back-to-back. NFL Chiefs coach Andy Reid said quarterback Patrick Mahomes will do a little more in practice this week. No determination yet made who will start against the Vikings Sunday. Mahomes is making his way back from a knee injury suffered in Week 7. Dolphins QB Ryan Fitzpatrick will start against the Jets on Sunday. College football, Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa returned to practice 10 days after surgery on a high ankle sprain. He could be a game-time decision November 9th against LSU.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120, on sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude, starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fees. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Come in today for a 3 Chicken Supremes dinner for just $4.99. Each Chicken Supremes dinner comes with 3 of our bold, craveable chicken tenders, your choice of fixin', and a fresh buttery biscuit. Plus, you'll get a free legendary iced tea. For a limited time, get Bojangles 3 Chicken Supremes dinner with your choice of fixin' and a biscuit for just $4.99. And don't forget that free iced tea. Bojangles, it's bow time, y'all.
Let's say your little princess puts a pony on her wish list. So you check out eBay and whoa, eBay has great deals on lots of ponies. Little toy ponies, stick ponies,
Mommy's little cowgirl, look at you.
Movies with ponies. eBay even has cars with supercharged ponies. Check eBay and you'll always find an unmatched selection at a price you'll love.
There's an app to save on flights, an app to rent a bike, and an app to help you save for driving safely. The Allstate app gives you real-time driving feedback with DriveWise, giving you the power to lower your insurance cost. In fact, safe drivers can save 40% or more. Connect and save with DriveWise. You're in good hands.
Download the Allstate app today. Savings may vary by state and driving behaviors. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Use of Allstate Mobile with activation of DriveWise required. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on thursdaysincollegetown.com.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Yeah, a lot of you have this week kind of begun to think along the same lines when we discuss just how is it. We suspect that we're going to be able to move the football via the air in this game. I thought it as soon as the last game ended, my concern immediately became, well, they're not going to respect anything over their heads.
Right.
So these windows that we're asking Alex to throw into currently, most of them right around the line of scrimmage, those won't be open. Those are going to go away pretty quick.
Yeah, you thought first half NC State was something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, and I also don't know what the psyche is of James Blackman. Like, is this a situation where you could say, well, this is untenable? I mean, they are not respecting anything downtown, so we're going to, they don't have to guard the whole field, and they have real athletes that can do something about it. So this is not one of those games for Alex. We're going to have to go to James. But where's his head at? I mean, I don't know. It can't be good. He can't be brimming with confidence. So, it's an option, I suppose. It certainly has to be. But
is the 2-quarterback, or should I say 3-quarterback system an option here?
I think it is. I really do. I don't know how they'll devise this. It's not ideal, but we're not in an ideal situation. There's nothing you can do. I think you have to consider playing 3 guys. I think that, again, I don't know from a football shape standpoint, because I don't know how taxing it would be to run the wild Cam. Clearly, if you're asking Cam Akers to be your superstar running back when you're in a more traditional offense, and at that point, Hornibrook's your quarterback. So you're going to give him how many carries in that role? 20, maybe more. I mean, lately we've been giving him more because they clearly want the ball in his hands, and for obvious reasons. So, I mean, I'm glad they were able to work in some work on Laybourne, who I was begging to see more time from as well last week, just to give Cam a break. But point is, let's say you're going to give him the ball at least 20 times in that regard. How many, realistically, how many snaps do you have him in the wild Cam if he's also going to be that primary? We're talking about him carrying the ball in one shape or form 45 times in this game? 40 times in this game? Is that reasonable?
Yes. Yes, it is. Would we like to win this football game? Yeah, if you had 70 snaps to allocate to the 3 quarterbacks, ideally, how would you allocate them? I think that's the question the coaching staff has to ask itself, and it's kind of a fun exercise for us fans.
Yeah, it depends on how many times Cam is going to be asked to actually throw the football and not have to take a shot, not run the football, not end up being tackled, if you will.
Design handoffs as well, which is a breather. Yeah.
Yeah, so how many times, I mean, he can be back there taking snaps, but not every snap is created equally. Obviously, if he's got to make something happen, break tackles, make people miss and get tackled, that's a different deal than handing the ball off or throwing it. So
I think the sense I got too, I know the sense I got from watching Kendall the other day, it was kind of funny. I think he had a lot of honest moments this week. He felt good. I don't know if that means he thinks we're going to play well or he was just in a good mood.
Well, they're coming off their easiest win of the year, yeah.
I think he admitted that, Cam's the only one who can read this thing like the right way for the read option. He's like, well, it's nice to have the read option element in the game, and that's a big deal. It's not just about the wild Cam giving an extra blocker or the fact that Cam could get the ball down the field, and so, oddly enough, a defense probably has to honor Tamori and Terry on a deep, in or a fly route. They have to honor him more with Cam at quarterback than they do Alex Hornibrook. That's kind of funny. But when you're talking about whether to keep or whether to give, Cam might be the one who understands that concept the best of the three.
Baylor set an all-time bowl record for rushing in a 49-38 win over North Carolina. Back in the Russell Athletic Bowl, it was Johnny Jefferson running. They combined for, the two teams did, 12 touchdowns. And if you go back and look at the numbers, it is simply remarkable. And why do I bring this up? Well, I bring this up because of the situation in 2015 they found themselves in, which was that they had to turn to basically an all running offense. It's bizarre. You ended up, the top two quarterbacks were out. You had, you had none of the real dangerous playmakers available. And he said, you know what? We're going to run it. We're going to run direct snaps. And North Carolina had no answer for those direct snaps. Four Baylor players completed passes, five players combined for 645 rushing yards in that game for Baylor. They had 333 rushing yards in the first half of that game. And it was all because all of their guys, their leading rusher was out, their top two quarterbacks, Seth Russell, Jarrett Stidham, both out. Bolitnikoff award-winning wide receiver and Corey Coleman out. So all their playmakers are gone. And they said, we got to play the game, and we have to move the ball. How are we going to do this? Well, here's what we're going to do. A lot of this single wing, wild Cam as we call it, and there are a lot of plays you can run off of this, a lot of people you can get involved in this. And I just think that we have just barely begun to scratch the surface. We're going to see some new things again Saturday.
The problem is you only got a handful of games left in Cam's career, and that's what sucks. This would have been nice to throw in a little bit earlier in the year or maybe earlier in Cam's career. But I don't know. Maybe last year's offensive line was a non-starter to begin with, and given that Cam had the problem with the ankle or the foot. But I wonder, because Kendall said we got limitations. You're talking about 5 receivers and 2 running backs. That's the personnel he listed available to him. So I don't think you can do all of one or all of the other. So we're thin at the 2 skill positions. He likes the way that Cam is able to run the offense from the quarterback position. There's a lot of input here in order for him to come up with a game plan that satisfies the need of, production, but then also keeps everybody fresh. It's not, if we had 4 running backs like we did a couple of years ago, you had Ryan Green, Amir Rasul, or you know what I mean? You're just like, maybe these guys weren't spectacular, but they could give you 10 touches a game. I'd say, hell yeah, find a way to get all these guys involved. But if you're talking it's just 3 and 4, Akers and Layburn, okay.
Well, Akers, Layburn, you've got guys that can run the ball that aren't traditional runners. So receivers and tight ends.
Yeah, Trayshawn,
absolutely. DJ, absolutely. McKitty, absolutely. Who, by the way, ran behind his pads like a man.
Yeah,
when he had the ball. So,
the broken play when that's nice.
He's showing some physicality.
Well, and I think also the fundamental question you ask here is what is the purpose of rolling that out against Syracuse? And you've talked about it about surprise. Would you rather have it?
Giving Miami a lot to think about, though.
Or is it a trial run because you're going to expand this and you have to expand this to be successful? I'd almost look at it
both
from the aggressive standpoint, which is, okay, we need to roll this out in order to have a fighting chance. And so let's get, the base 4 or 5 looks that we want, We can run them a couple of times a piece, and then let's expand it out and only do more.
Well, one of the things that's cool, and they're not going to run nearly as many plays in this game as they did against North Carolina in that bowl game. But Baylor ran the ball in that game that I am referencing the stats to 84 times. 84 times. They threw it 15. I mean, they ran a ton of plays, obviously. But I mean, that's nuts to score that many points running the ball 84 times. It was it's a glimpse. It's a glimpse, and I'm not saying they can incorporate all of what they did in that situation. They had greater depth there. They, obviously had a few more dynamic players available to them in that moment. But boy, oh boy, that shows you that on the fly they incorporated something and ran it well. I don't know how quickly we can get to that place. They had preparations leading into a bowl. You have a lot more time. But how long have they been running elements of this? How long before we saw it on Saturday have they been working towards this, and what all do they have that we haven't seen that they can run off of it? That has me very intrigued.
Well, I forget which word it was, but Kendall said either expand or more, maybe both, when he talked to the media yesterday. And I think the short answer here, just if you're talking about the general Florida State fan that wants to beat Miami but also wants to have a good time, this is so much more entertaining than worrying about which quarterback is less average or less below average than the other. You could just watch this superstar freak athlete who's got a really good arm, and his touchdown interception ratio in high school, I think his senior year was something like 33-6 or 31-6. He's somebody who could get the ball down the field. We've seen the tape. We watched it. When he came here, you interviewed the guy who said, this dude, if they want to use him at quarterback, you wait and see. He's got an arm. This isn't more than a gadget where a dude's wide open because they have to stack the box and honor the running back. He could throw the damn football. He can spin it.
I think in addition to all of that, what you pointed out was true. That makes it, I think, disconcerting for Miami as they prepare for this. Now, they may end up overwhelming Florida State's offensive line, and really at that point, everything's moot. You can have all these gadgets and things you want to run off of it. If your guys are 3 feet into the backfield, it doesn't matter. And I think if I were Miami, I would rely on that physical advantage defensively to blow all this up. I mean, that's all well and good. You're going to run in these guys and all these jet sweep motions, all this stuff, fine. I'm going to have your linemen into the backfield, and that's going to change everything.
It would.
It would change all of that. But that said, in terms of Cam throwing the ball, what you were just talking about, that he could legitimately do it, it introduces the element of Miami having to respect the P in RPO. And there you go. You got a guy who can read it.
Right.
And he can throw it.
Right. And then with the others, like with Sam, or sorry, not his brother, but with Alex, it's almost like you don't have to respect the downfield P, and you certainly don't respect the R.
No.
With James, you don't really respect the R, and you don't respect the intermediate to short.
Well, and you don't respect the downfield throw if it's outside the
hashes. The numbers, right. So maybe with Cam, you respect both letters all the way through and through.
We'll see. I want to see how accurately he throws the ball down the field, how many reps he gets doing that, how many times they attempt it. A lot of times it would just be a show-me moment.
The odd thing, too, is that you look at the two of the trick plays we've run the last couple of weeks, beyond the gadget formation. It seems like there's a tell or something, because the 2-point play against Wake Forest, that is ridiculous. The actual initial play that we're faking off of would have worked. If they just stuck with the original non-gadgety play, it works. And then the triple pass, actually the first way, they had 3 receivers blocking. It was going to work on its own without Cam actually throwing the ball.
It's like when you're self-scouting, you go back and you're watching the film, you're like, guys, we may have fallen into something here. Let's call that play and just eliminate the third aspect of it. Let's whatever we're doing second here, this play fake here, just stay with that and go.
Well, I think what Kendall said to Cam this week was, listen, if the receivers aren't smart enough to release into a route on the trick play I designed, don't throw it to Alex. Just keep running.
Just keep
because you're you.
You're you. Blow somebody up, run over them, make another guy miss.
Gain of 4.
Yeah. You're going to be tired. You're going to be tired after this one. Hang in there, buddy. I mean, I would tell Cam that this week. Rest up. I just think about 84 runs in that bowl game. We're not going to touch that number.
600 yards, though. There's not enough time to do that.
It doesn't seem like it. It's crazy. What the hell is North Carolina doing? Hour number 2, fourth coming. Stay with.
tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Hey guys, looking to unwind with a gin and tonic after a long day? Or reward yourself with an old-fashioned for you and a cosmopolitan for her? All from the comfort of home? Now you can, with a touch of a button. Introducing the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig, an automated cocktail maker that delivers classic manly cocktails, flashy fruit cocktails, and everything in between right from your countertop. Each cocktail combines top-shelf spirits and premium mixers. Just insert the pod into the drink maker, press start, and your delicious cocktail, chilled to perfection, will be ready in under a minute. For a limited time, we're offering the DrinkWorks drink maker for a savings of $50 off the website price. This exclusive early bird offer won't last, so order yours today. To redeem this exclusive offer and experience the revolutionary DrinkWorks drink maker, go to drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. That's drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. Go beyond just wine and beer and step up your cocktail game at drinkworks.com. Keurig is a registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed technology track, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shara Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The two best words in sports, Game 7, and we've got one tonight for the Astros and Nationals in the World Series. A pair of former Cy Young Award winners on the hill, Zach Greinke and Max Scherzer, who missed his last start with a neck injury. There's a certain focus tonight's hitters should have for Scherzer and Greinke, explains ESPN's Ryan Howard.
If I'm a Nationals hitter, I'm going to look to try to eliminate Zach Greinke's changeup if I can. And try to go after the fastball and sliders and whatnot. With Scherzer, I'm going to try to look to eliminate his changeup and slider if I can, and just try to narrow it down to two pitches of his fastball and curveball.
Ryan Howard on Golick and Wingo, Game 7, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NBA, a sigh of relief today for the Hawks. Star guard Trae Young felt improvement in his sprained right ankle, and there are no plans for an MRI, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Young could return to the active lineup as soon as next week. No Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers tonight against the Jazz, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV. It's the first game Leonard will miss with LA due to load management. He'll play tomorrow against the Spurs. Coach Doc Rivers says the franchise will determine when Leonard will rest on a case-by-case basis, and there's no set plan to rest him on one end of a back-to-back. NFL Chiefs coach Andy Reid said quarterback Patrick Mahomes will do a little more in practice this week. No determination yet made who will start against the Vikings Sunday. Mahomes is making his way back from a knee injury suffered in Week 7. Dolphins QB Ryan Fitzpatrick will start against the Jets on Sunday. College football, Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa returned to practice 10 days after surgery on a high ankle sprain. He could be a game-time decision November 9th against LSU.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's good to be with you on a Balls McWednesday. I appreciate you joining us. By the way, we're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, you can always drop an email in there as well, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. I hope you're well as well. That was fun talking about all the options that we have potentially. That coupled with some slants and screens will make up your game plan. A whole lot of screen, quick play, a lot of the quick pass stuff.
Just getting lost in what the wild cam can be is a wonderful distraction from the fact that the season's played out like it has. It is. It's nice to get lost in that for a little bit because that's the fun stuff about football.
You're sort of salvaging. This is a weekend where you'll have a lot of fun. The weather's going to be ideal. You're reminded of a rivalry that has been really not only just the cornerstone of Florida State football in a lot of ways, but also nationally. This has been a big to-do for a very long time, and I understand that nationally it doesn't have the same cachet or draw, but it's still something that, like we talked about, I think the other day, maybe last week, you're flipping around when you see some of the more traditional rivalries that have a real history to them and big moments. You fall back on that, and you watch a little bit of that. There'll be a lot of people tuning in to check on these two. Where are you guys at? You guys have been kind of missing lately. Were either one of you close?
Yeah, for the 6-minute quarter break that college football has when it's on CBS and it's Georgia, Florida. They say,
what's going on over here?
Miami, Florida State. That used to be fun.
It will be again. I do think it will be again. I think, the program that's in more peril of not ever getting back to that place that would ratchet this thing back up is Miami. They've proven that over the last 20 years.
Yes. Well, and I think, I probably should say consequential. It'll be consequential again. It used to be consequential because they have been fun. These games have been ridiculous, actually, in recent history. They've all been close since 2014, really.
It's been a 5-year run of close games. There's no doubt they're pressure-packed, and we've lost the last 2, which ratchets up the intensity here, at least in terms of investment fandom-wise. Like, come on now. We don't need this while we're both down thing to turn into a 3-game losing streak to these guys as well. I mean, let's go. Let's end this little blip on the radar.
Well, I think the season was about, can you get out of your own way, win the games you're supposed to win against a really bad schedule, and what we thought was a down conference, but not like down in the muck conference, which is what we are right now. But we've kind of gotten in our own way a little bit here and not allowed ourselves to reap the benefits of 8 wins, 9 wins if everything breaks right, with a group that can recruit and did recruit after a 5-win season. So this one is critical. Any way you slice it.
I go back to when we had David Hale on a couple weeks back or 10 days ago, however long ago that was, when we were talking. He said, it's weird. There are plenty of things to like when you go player for player, segment to segment in the ACC this year. It's just that the shared predicament does appear to be offensive line. And, boy, he ain't kidding, because here these two teams are with laments about the offensive line. And really, you look throughout the league, you see that's true at a lot of places. It makes it tough to, for lack of a better term, handicap matchups like this because, again, everything starts up front. And we do know this. We know that Florida State, with Corey Durden and Coop and Marvin, they'll do damage to this Miami offensive line. And we know that the reverse is true, that the converse is true, that we really aren't capable against anybody with a formidable group up front to do anything about it.
Well, and can we throw Janarius in there at this point?
Yeah.
He's been, rock steady for the last 2.5 games. He can only play one half of one of them. But he's a factor, and I think he has to be counted in just as much as the other three that we've mentioned all season long, because he's come a long way in the run-stopping part of it, not, of course, in the pass rush, but he's a physical force out there.
Yeah, and by the way, if you recall when we had Lee Sterling on a couple weeks back, he was talking about, because I was asking him as a Kane that he is, he's a diehard Kane supporter. I said, is there anybody that, he's been down on the linebackers, and I really like. I mean, obviously, I thought Shaq Quarterman's been really good forever. It seems like he's been there forever. Like, can we move on now, Shaq? Jesus, you've been there for a long time. But I really like him. I think he's kind of a Mr. Do-It-All. But when I was talking about the Rousseau kid, he did love him, and there's a lot to like. At 6'6" and as a redshirt freshman and 250 whatever pounds, he's going to be 270. He's a bit of a freak.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Zagacki. He does his annual little spot with the Front Row Knowles, and that was a good interview, good 20 minutes or so of them talking. And he was talking about how his reach is so great that a couple of times this season he's seen quarterbacks peek over their shoulder and know that he's out there, but there's no way he can get to me. And yet the kid still pokes the ball out, or he still affects the quarterback's arm on a throw. He completely throws your timing off because you don't they've had Calais Campbell in the past. That's the closest thing this kid is to, right?
Yeah, he's going to be a problem moving forward. He could be a problem on Saturday, but he's going to be a big problem moving forward. I'm very concerned with that situation because, again, tackle.
Right. May need to chip. Let's not have the Bradley Chubb plan, right? Which was, we're going to chip and we're going to do all kinds of stuff.
It was the most bizarre thing ever. He told us all the things that he was going to do, Jimbo did, and then none of them got done.
Don't worry, Bradley will see that, and then he'll think that he's going to expect a lot more attention. He won't know what to do with just the tackle by himself.
Really was frustrated that Jeff Thomas is making his way back. Was really, really frustrated that not only Jeff Thomas but DJ Dallas found his way back. I thought, no, guys, they could be out another game or two. Because I think they're both really good players. In particular, I really like DJ Dallas. You got to play big boy football tackling him, man. He's a good player.
Yes, he is. He's not. One broken tackle and he's a home run threat, but he's dynamic and he'll keep plays alive.
Well, it's just because he's compact. He's like 220, 5'10", whatever he is, 215. But he's a thick, strong kid.
And he has burst.
And he's a problem. He's a good player.
It's just not the top end. And I describe Cam in a similar way, except for last week. I finally saw a burst. I was like, oh, so that's what it looks like when he can get through the line of scrimmage unimpeded. Cam is starting to show that next level Sunday burst that is fast for the NFL, not just fast for college. And I hope that what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, where it's almost an understood that the first guy will not tackle him. If he continues down that path and he's healthy enough to get to top speed, he could be making the plays this week that has Miami fans going, well, it was nice while it lasted, this 2-game win streak.
Anybody check in yet on exactly what we're expecting on Saturday in terms of, I know the weather's going to be nice. We going to get a packed house here? I mean,
Jim Henry's been on it, giving daily updates
every week. He's been great with this.
About whether the students are claiming their tickets. I think right now...
well, that shouldn't be a problem for this.
It shouldn't be a problem for this one. But it looks like we're in the low to mid 60s in terms of attendance right now. So, I mean, in that place, it
only holds 79.
Yeah, it used to be 83. They still say 80, but it's not anymore with the Champions Club, the Memorial. So if this thing gets, a walk-up gate of another 4,000 or 5,000 people, you're looking at almost a packed house, I would think.
I hope so. I just have so many fond memories of this place being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in the Florida State-Miami rivalry. It's an added element, not just the games and the immensely talented players we've seen for both sides over the years, but it's been the atmosphere too that, frankly, I've absolutely relished.
I looked earlier this week on the Miami sideline around the 40s and 50-yard lines, right, seats on either side of it, and the secondary market was saying that those tickets were between $100 and $125. Now, I haven't checked today. I don't know if that market has changed at all. But that's typically a good sign that you're going to get close to a sellout when those seats that are kind of high up on the 40 and 50-yard line on the visitor sideline, the sunny side of the stadium, are going for, $80 to $100. That means we're going to get a really good crowd.
I don't know why I keep having this vision of a really bizarre play happening that in the second half that makes the difference in this game. It feels like that's always the case lately in these games that have been so close. But the bizarre play that made the difference last year was the ridiculous flag thrown by the official on the double pass. It's a touchdown. That's your game winner, by the way.
Still never got an answer if that's reviewable or not. I guess they just told him flat no. Because apparently it happened this year where they did review it for another
They also
school.
got it wrong again.
Yeah.
They seem hell-bent on throwing that flag for whatever reason. Anytime somebody attempts that play, they always get it wrong. They just throw the flag immediately. I don't know. I wonder if that has something to do with the angle of where the refs are standing when they make that call. Because I forget what game it was. Was it the Pitt-Syracuse game? It was another game where they got that wrong specifically again.
Yeah, I think it was. I heard Corey talking about it.
They got it wrong. I mean, come on, guys.
Well, that's the difference. And you know what? Keith said this yesterday on Front Row Knowles. There's 2 plugs in one segment for him. Keith said this yesterday that it seems as though the ACC think one way, which is what we learned in 2012, which is when in question, throw the flag. Whereas the SEC seems like when in question, put it in your back pocket. Let's let this thing ride on, man. Like, you can always assess a forward pass on review. But if you take it, the burden of proof should be for the play to come off the board, not for the play to stand. People want explosive plays.
Well, let's recall, and you're going to hear it in a second. We had a chance just before the show. We talked with Lee DeKemper from JoeBucksFan.com, and it's coming up in a segment. And just in the interest of transparency, this particular segment happened earlier today at about 2:30 this afternoon. But it doesn't matter because it's relevant now. But I bring this up. I bring up the fact that there's an onus on letting the play out. And the Bucs got screwed last week on a fumble where they blew the whistle dead. To that same point, what are you doing? Just go back and review it later. Like, what? Why are you? I just don't. How does that?
You've got to be sure. You've got to be sure. And it was a line judge who blew it in the Bucs game on Sunday.
You got to really be sure.
He was just worried that kid was dead, and it's like that's fine, but it's football. Like I get that you care about that dude.
I couldn't believe they didn't throw a flag.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he crushed him.
That's the best play Devin White's made as a pro so far.
He made 3 good plays in that game. He actually looked like he's coming around.
Could it be another parallel?
He's going to be.
Well, I mean, just that the linebacker play on Saturdays is coming around, and Devin White's play. But Levante David is somebody that, we don't have at Florida State.
You also owe Levante David an apology.
I do. I always say that. I own that.
I know you do. I know you do. Happens to all of us. We've all done that.
Difference between us and a lot of radio hosts is we'll own it.
Yeah, you said you were like, oh, he's done, and then he's clearly
Apparently, he didn't have a leg. He was playing on one leg.
He's played better the last 2 years than he has at any point in his career.
God.
He's all over the field.
He's as fast as Quan Alexander was.
Silly. You know what else is silly? It is time for the Wicked. Let's give it away along with the Rambler.
That's right.
All right, Rambler. You got it in there. I forgot to grab it from you. You holding the Rambler? Let's see it. It's a picture of yours truly, or a caricature of me, along with, of course, the Witch emblem, and it's a big Yeti Rambler.
It's a big Yeti Rambler. Oh, see, people are already excited about it.
Yeah, they know.
I hope Mark T put together the phone
lines. All right.
Put that wine bottle down, Mark. Here come the switchboards.
Here they are. 5 meats, 3 cheeses. It's yours to win. It's delicious. Coupled with the Rambler, it's Wicked Wednesday.
Think Clark is calling in?
No. Clark is just coming home from school, but if he hears this, he's like, woo! Plus, we have one of those kick-ass Ramblers at the Cameron household. He knows.
I would hope so.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Call win yours right now from our friends at Which Superior Sandwiches. 523-3776. That would be caller 3. Ooh. Caller 3.
Wrinkly.
Make it happen.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Tricking us. Here's the deal. No one has presented the winning numbers yet. The winner may be in those 37 remaining packets, because if the numbers in your package match the randomly selected winning numbers, you can win up to $3,000 cash. It doesn't matter if you buy a car or not. And like before, you can get a resort vacation package just for showing up. The treat, we've got 3 Nissan models priced under $20,000. And inside each packet, there's a voucher for up to $8,000 towards the purchase of any new Nissan. So be one of the first 37 people through the doors, because when they're gone, they're gone. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier, full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
Hey, Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hello, Eddie. How the heck are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I guess we got to do this commercial.
Time for the bantering to begin.
Yeah, but you know what, Jeff? I want something different now.
You don't want to banter anymore.
I enjoy the banter. I do. But I want theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes,
I like
Gordo's, not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, you know, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now's your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles welcome in the Miami Hurricanes inside Doak Campbell Stadium, Saturday, November 2nd. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Touchdown, Florida State! Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120. On sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude, starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Catboy! Owlette! Gecko! Let's go!
Your favorite hero trio is back in an all-new musical adventure. PJ Masks Live Save the Day. Singing, dancing, and ruling the night. Friday, November 22nd, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. PJ Masks Live Save the Day. Tickets are on sale now at pjmaskslive.com or tuckerciviccenter.com. VIP meet and greet packages available.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
So much to discuss, most of it negative yet again, regarding Tampa Bay's loss on this past Sunday to Tennessee, 27-23, in a game that as you watched it, you thought, well, they should win this game. They're the better football team. That whole first half is really, really a lesson in what can happen when you turn the football over and when you're not efficient in the red zone. And it's just so frustrating. Joining us now to talk about it, Lita Kemper, JoeBucksFan.com, the great website that he runs, joins us every week on the Scuttle Bucks. Hello, Lee. How are you, brother?
Jeff, how you doing? And you know what? Frustrating is the perfect word. This team is frustrating. It's frustrating because obviously they're not winning. It's frustrating because you've got garbage on the field like this Adari character who has 43% of the snaps he's on the field. You've got Brashard Perriman, who's worthless. And when you need touchdowns in the fourth quarter, you don't target one of the best wide receivers in the stinking league. And then the second quarter, I think we all saw how Mike Evans took that game over in the second quarter. And why he wasn't targeted is beyond my comprehension. And why they targeted Perriman 5 times in the fourth quarter is beyond my comprehension. But here we are.
Perriman has a low football IQ. He strikes me, I don't know if he's smart in his day-to-day life, but as a football player, he's a dumbass. And when I watch him, I wonder time and again how it is you can put him on the field. There certainly has to be a greater standard before we let people take the field, because this is a reoccurring issue with some of the better players on the team too. This is time and again we're watching Jameis have a discussion. This could be growing pains in the new offense, but we're watching Jameis have a discussion, whether it be with Godwin or Evans in various games, where they don't seem to be on the same page. They're not seeing the same things. This isn't just one of these moments where Jameis goes on a rampant turnover spree and you're wondering if he's pressing or just trying to do too much. This is a miscommunication issue the last couple of weeks where guys aren't where he thinks they're going to be, and they're looking back at him and he's looking back at them. And, I know after the game, Arians said Jameis didn't throw a single interception. That was his fault in this last game. Well, we could take issue with that or not. But I do know that he and his receivers are not on the same page, and that's not made or relieved in any way easier by the fact that Perriman just isn't a good football player, ought not be on this football team, wouldn't be on a team like the Patriots and others that hold players to a certain standard. And then, like you said, it's a mystery how you go through long stretches of time and you don't target guys that are all pro players. It's really bizarre what's going on with this offense right now.
Yeah, it is bizarre, and here's another one for you. I do not know what the fascination with Peyton Barber is. Now, against the Titans, I jotted down every one of his runs, and just to double check, I went back to the NFL game book, which anybody can look at, NFL.com, go to the box score of games, and there'll be a link there. It's this game book. That's the official game book. That's all the stats you could ever think of that the NFL tallies, that every game in the NFL. Barber had 10 runs against the Titans. 5 of those runs were on first down. Every one of those runs was between the tackles. And I really hope to ask Byron Leftwich tomorrow being Thursday when he's available to speak for his weekly media obligations. I intend to ask Byron Leftwich, sir, do you think you're telegraphing plays by having Peyton Barber run up the middle on first down, half of his carries? I mean, if I can see it, if guys in the bar can see it, you're telling me the other team can't see it? You're telling me guys making 6 and 7 figures, devising defensive game plans don't know it? I mean, come on. That's playing into the other team's hands.
Well, I find this whole
football
thing,
101.
Lee, I find this whole thing curious because here's the deal. We are getting to a place as a fan base or as analysts, people certainly paid to cover and talk about the games, but also just the fans in general. And I'm friends with obviously a ton of Bucs fans, being from down there. Mm-hmm. Where I think the thing that's most bitterly disappointing at this point is we're actually beginning to question whether or not this team is competently coached. And we thought the hiring of Arians and this staff was going to be a boon, was going to be a plus, was something that was going to uplift their ability to win close games. Look prepared. Certainly, if they weren't good enough in certain situations because of their personnel, that would be understood, but they'd be put in a position to succeed consistently, that we wouldn't be questioning coaching. And I find myself beginning to question coaching, whether it's end-of-game scenarios, whether it's the proper or improper use of personnel, whether it's long stretches at a time where guys aren't on the same page. What's the mood down there? I'm beginning to wonder if people think that the game has passed Arians by.
Well, I don't know if it passed him by, but I mean, it's an interesting thought. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know if it's that. I think it's got one of three things. And I'll save the best for last, and it boils it down to the very simplistic notion. First off, you have to wonder if they're identifying talent properly. And we just spoke about Brashard Perriman. You know, what competent coach would have Brashard Perriman on the field as much as he is, targeting him as much as they do? And I think it was the second week of the season the last time he made a play. And especially when you got Mike Evans, when you have Chris Godwin, who's totally blowing up, it makes no sense. So you wonder if they're misidentifying talent. That's one. Number two, pardon the French here, but you wonder if they have just a bunch of dumbasses on the team. You really wonder. I mean, honest to goodness, you wonder. You know, Arians has pretty much said, you know, we practice this and we practice this and we practice this, and when we get it right in practice and we go out to the game and we screw it up. And so that's also number two. And here's number three, and it boils it down to we can all relate to this. If you're the Glazer family and you're coughing up, I don't know how many millions of dollars to have the largest coaching staff in the NFL, and Arians sold them on this specifically so we can coach guys up, so we make sure even the bottom rung of every position is coached up right, and this is what you're getting in return? Really?
Well, what do you do? It's perplexing because they don't look like a well-coached team. And I like Bruce Arians. I like Todd Bowles. I do think that Leftwich in time will be good. Is some of this Leftwich growing pains?
I have to think it is because, you know, Arians said the other night he does a weekly interview with Dan Lucas, the Florida State grad, mind you. You guys might know him, and a proud Florida State grad, I might add.
Good
and he's the sports anchor of the NBC affiliate in Tampa. And he has a weekly exclusive sit-down with Arians each week. And last night when they ran that, and they put the video up on their website, and we always link to it, in that website, Arians admitted, I have veto on every play. So tacitly, he's approving every play. He says he's got veto power over every play. And he admitted the 4th and 1 play, he should have said, no, we're not running it. The 4th and 1 play, that basically ended their playoff hope.
Well, it's also not the first time.
Let's run Barber up the middle for a 2-yard loss.
Well, out of the shotgun. And, oh, by the way, we've done it. We've done it on multiple occasions. It's not the first time this year that we've run that play. We did it down on the 5-yard line earlier this year. Yeah, so listen, they've made a mockery of end-of-game situations. Hell, they almost lost the Carolina game because of Arians shenanigans on the road earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's another one for you that involves the Glazer family. I may have mentioned this on your Call the Bucs podcast before. There was a report early this season, it might have been during training camp, that the Glazer family was a little bit suspicious. You know, they wanted Bruce Arians to run everything, and Arians like, well, I really don't want to do that. You know, I'll oversee everything. Well, that's which will be my right-hand man. And the Glazers were kind of concerned, are we paying for Bruce Arians and instead getting Byron Leftwich? I think those concerns were very, very valid in hindsight now.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I mean, when you have repeated mistakes and a misuse of personnel, and you have a two-time coach of the year over there observing this, you do think at some point he would utilize that veto power and say, listen, Byron, let's sit this one out. I'm gonna step in here and we're going to get things back where they need to be, and we'll learn from this and we'll grow. I like Byron Leftwich. I think in time he's going to be just fine. But right now he's making pretty glaring errors, and moreover, this falls at the feet of the head coach because misuse of personnel is, that has to be a head coaching issue. I really find that perplexing.
In some respects, I hate to say this, but in some respects it almost looks like Arians is trying to set up his buddies to get future jobs. That's almost what it looks like. Almost. I won't go there yet, but it has that stench. It has that appearance. Here's a good one for you. I'll just throw this out there. Me personally, one of the attributes of a coach is a good coach. I'm not any coach, a good coach. You have certain personnel, you have certain talent, and you utilize those talents to the best of your ability. You may have to play them in different spots on the field, in different positions that you may not like, but it will. You can still utilize those skills and those talents. Chris Godwin, I know, has blown up. Arians wanted Godwin as a slot receiver. That's why they didn't re-sign Adam Humphries. Godwin was quicker than Humphries. Arians wanted speed at slot. and you cannot argue with the result. Godwin is absolutely blown up, and that was a bullseye for Arians. He identified that immediately. That was a wise move. But when you're trying to trot out the Scotty Millers of the world, when you're trying to force feed Rashard Perriman, how about biting the bullet, put Godwin out wide, which they've done before, they being Cutter, they've done before with success, put Godwin out wide, have Brait line up at slot instead of a tight end, have him line up in the slot, and I saw him do it last Sunday. So it's not like they can't do it. I've seen them do it just Sunday. And then, of course, you have Evans. That's a whole lot better talent in the receiving in the passing game than Scotty Miller / Rashard Perriman.
Tom's over here grimacing just thinking about Scotty Miller being on the field.
Is he overmatched? I mean, that's the best way I can describe him, overmatched.
Yeah, I think so. It's strange. By the way, as an aside, I don't know. I mean, I saw what happened earlier, and I saw what happened after the game and some of the comments we've seen earlier in the week, I guess. Has the NFL done their typical, we're really sorry about that inadvertent whistle or the whistle blowing the man down that's clearly fumbled the football? That's a touchdown, Tampa Bay. The Bucs probably go on to win the game. Absolutely got shafted, bent over, screwed by the league. And this as a point of emphasis. The league has told the officials to let the game play. Yes, what the hell were they doing? And I just don't – I know you can't retroactively go back and say, sorry, Bucs win or whatever. But Jesus, man. I mean, how upset was Arians about this, and what has the league said?
Well, Arians, shortly after we finish this conversation, Arians will speak for the first time for Seattle week. And so we'll know. As far as I know, the NFL hasn't made an official announcement, and generally they do. They'll make an official announcement. Oops, our bad. And but like you said, what's the recourse? There really is none. So, and I'm also waiting for Arians to announce, or the Bucs to announce, or the NFL to announce that Arians has been fined $5,000 for his comments, and I don't blame him. Everybody, you talk to anybody in the NFL, they don't blame him. And what I found was funny was there's a video out there of Marcus Spears on what's the ESPN show, Stay in Dead, I think it's called.
Oh, okay.
And he was backing up Arians, and he called for public trials of referees.
Listen, I get that they have a tough job, but I'm not one that usually goes all in on refs after every freaking game. You could, but I don't. I find it boring. But this, could have cost you the game. And in many ways, it cost you the game, and it's a point of emphasis rule. I don't. That's just mesmerizing.
Well, not just cost the game, Jeff, as you well know. That's probably the season. They don't have any playoff hopes now, any legitimate hopes.
No
prayers. That season's over. And like Arians said, coaches get fired over this. And I thought it was very interesting he brought that up. Like I said, I love Arians for a lot of reasons, one of which is brutal honesty after a game when the emotions are raw and he has no filter and hasn't had a chance to talk to a public relations professional to do a spin job a day later. And he comes right out and says coaches get fired for that. General managers get fired for that. Yeah. Whoa, where'd that come from?
Well, he's
right. You don't think he's thinking that?
Oh, sure.
All right, Lee, I got a question for you. Stay with me to the end of the question. Let me finish and just get this out. Back to the receivers for just a second.
Okay.
So who is worse at their position, Vernon Hargreaves or Justin Watson? Because if Watson can't get run, and Bobo Wilson does, and Scotty Miller does, and Rashard Perriman does, what does that say about that pick and that player?
Well, I can say this about Watson. I don't know if he's a bad player, but I think he's in the doghouse, and this is why. In training camp and preseason, he dropped a lot of passes, and I think he had a catch the second week of the season, third game of the season. Early in the season, he did have a catch, but I think it boils down to Arians doesn't trust him. Now, I talked to Arians about Watson back in underwear football, and he raved about it because this guy can play. And I just think that he's seen Watson drop enough passes in training camp, in preseason, that he's like, whoa, I don't know if I want to put this guy on the field. I don't know if I can trust him.
Does he
that
know
doesn't say a lot that he trusts Scotty Miller over Watson.
But does Justin Watson know the difference between the color green and white and where your feet go in order for a catch to be in
that he does. That he knows.
Okay.
He knows how to, he uses that pen degree well in that respect. He can get his feet down. He knows about that.
Man, this is just turning into a circus, and now you're really trying to assess from week to week whether or not you're going to move on from a franchise quarterback potentially or start anew. And I don't know that this game moved the needle either way on Winston. He'll get blamed for all the turnovers. First of all, the snap off of his face when he's not looking is not a Jameis Winston turnover. A lot of publications like to say Winston fumbled the ball. Well, I would call bullshit on that. He didn't fumble the ball. He had a snap go off his face. Secondly,
yeah, even Matt Millen said it right away. That was Ryan Jensen.
Yeah, and he's right about that. And then secondly, I would say, listen, it's pretty abundantly clear that you have a couple of wrong routes being run here, and I just think that might be growing pains in this offense because Godwin's really good. And we really like
hustle.
Right. And I believe in that guy, and I think the Bucs obviously do too, and they should. But he and Winston were not on the same page in this game regarding those coverages. And listen, Jameis has been prone to turnovers. We're certainly not denying that. But these looked different. I mean, clearly he was throwing a ball to an area that he thought a receiver should be, and it was just bizarre. And you could see them looking at each other just exacerbated, just sort of this, where are you going, man? That look. And to hear what Arians said afterwards, I don't know who's wrong and who's right. I don't know if it was Godwin was right and Winston was wrong. Winston was right and Godwin was wrong. Apparently the head coach is defending the quarterback, but either way, get on the same page already. I mean, these are devastating.
Yeah, you almost wonder if Arians is putting in his offense little by little each week, and that maybe he has given these guys too much to chew the last couple weeks. You almost wonder that. I don't know that. I'll have to ask some people. But, Arians said it takes the quarterback at least a half a season to learn to get comfortable with his offense. He said that. So if it takes the quarterback that long, I would have to guess it takes wide receivers a learning period as well.
Well, and I just think that's why you've seen moments where there have been disappearing acts with Evans. You've had miscommunications with Godwin, and, it's incredibly frustrating. Final thing before we go, O.J. Howard's status, what the hell's going on with him? Why didn't they trade him?
Well, I know Light doesn't want to trade him, and apparently what happened was Light was open-minded to it, but he wanted a significant ransom for Howard. And I talked to Howard last week. I haven't talked to him this week yet, but I talked to him last week when the story came out that Bill Belichick was trying to get him, and Light said no. And you could tell it bothered him a little bit. He likes the area. He likes the team. He wants to stay here. But I know he's frustrated a bit because he's pretty much an afterthought in the offense. He's being held back to block. We've gone over that. And that kind of speaks volumes. If you got a tight end like that and you had him stay back to block more than go out and get passes. There's an underlying story there. It's about the offensive line, you might say. And but anyway, he said, he goes, it doesn't surprise me about Belichick because him and Saban know, they're good friends and they know Howard's skill set. Belichick does that fits that offense. Yeah, they need to use him more. I mean, we spoke about that earlier. You got talent like Brayton, Howard. You need to start using those guys instead of getting Perriman on the field, Miller on the field. That's crazy.
Always appreciated, brother. Let's see what becomes of this team as we move along. Sadly, we're in that mode again. All right. Always a pleasure. Talk to you soon. And as always, folks, make sure you go check out JoeBucksFan.com. Talk to you later, Lee.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jeff. Have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy. Man, what to add? Well, we'll come back and wrap it up and add a little bit of something to it when we're done here. It's just so maddening. Misuse of personnel, infighting in the locker room we're reading about now. 2-5. Several games left on the table there that you could have won already at this point. I mean, you a chip shot field goal is a win. This game should have – this one hurt me.
Cut you deep, huh?
Well, we're a lot better than Tennessee. It was obvious.
Yep, sure was. The Giants one is the one that broke me.
Oh, yeah.
So this one –
Yeah, but we rebounded so nicely after that. You thought, okay, I'll move it along.
But I was numb after London. Even, the bye week didn't do anything to let those subside. And the next thing you know, first possession, 7-0, like.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Number one
It's done!
Check out our next Sports Monster watch party next Wednesday night for the season opener against Pitt.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
Hey guys, looking to unwind with a gin and tonic after a long day? Or reward yourself with an old-fashioned for you and a cosmopolitan for her? All from the comfort of home? Now you can, with a touch of a button. Introducing the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig, an automated cocktail maker that delivers classic manly cocktails, flashy fruit cocktails, and everything in between right from your countertop. Each cocktail combines top-shelf spirits and premium mixers. Just insert the pod into the drink maker, press start, and your delicious cocktail, chilled to perfection, will be ready in under a minute. For a limited time, we're offering the DrinkWorks drink maker for a savings of $50 off the website price. This exclusive early bird offer won't last, so order yours today. To redeem this exclusive offer and experience the revolutionary DrinkWorks drink maker, go to drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. That's drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. Go beyond just wine and beer and step up your cocktail game at drinkworks.com. Keurig is a registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
At Sport Clips Haircuts, we're on a mission to help our veterans with their education. In 2013, we established the VFW Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program. With the help of your generous donations, we've raised over $6 million and awarded more than 1,400 scholarships across the country. Visit Sport Clips today and help a hero. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate an additional $1 for every haircut we give. Help us continue this honorable mission.
Can you hear it? There's no better tradition in all of sports than 80,000 Noles doing the war chant. Now's your chance to be a part of that. Single game tickets are on sale now as the Noles welcome in the Miami Hurricanes inside Doak Campbell Stadium, Saturday, November 2nd. Don't get left out of the best tradition in all of sports. Purchase your tickets today to see Florida State football live in person. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Touchdown, Florida State!
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Scherer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. The two best words in sports, Game 7, and we've got one tonight for the Astros and Nationals in the World Series. A pair of former Cy Young Award winners on the hill, Zach Greinke and Max Scherzer, who missed his last start with a neck injury. There's a certain focus tonight's hitters should have for Scherzer and Greinke, explains ESPN's Ryan Howard.
If I'm a Nationals hitter, I'm going to look to try to eliminate Zach Greinke's changeup if I can, and try to go after the fastball and sliders or whatnot. With Scherzer, I'm going to try to look to eliminate his changeup and slider if I can, and just try to narrow it down to two pitches of his fastball and curveball.
Ryan Howard on Golick and Wingo, Game 7, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NBA, a sigh of relief today for the Hawks. Star guard Trae Young felt improvement in his sprained right ankle, and there are no plans for an MRI, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Young could return to the active lineup as soon as next week. No Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers tonight against the Jazz, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV. It's the first game Leonard will miss with LA due to load management. He'll play tomorrow against the Spurs. Coach Doc Rivers says the franchise will determine when Leonard will rest on a case-by-case basis, and there's no set plan to rest him on one end of a back-to-back. NFL Chiefs coach Andy Reid said quarterback Patrick Mahomes will do a little more in practice this week. No determination yet made who will start against the Vikings Sunday. Mahomes is making his way back from a knee injury suffered in Week 7. Dolphins QB Ryan Fitzpatrick will start against the Jets on Sunday. College football, Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa returned to practice 10 days after surgery on a high ankle sprain. He could be a game-time decision November 9th against LSU.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Just tempted to play the whole De La Soul album, song, any of them. They're all great. All right, I'm frustrated after that last segment, Rand, because I'm thinking about how bad the damn Bucs are, and it's just a never-ending sea of frustration with my sports team. Pirates, Knowles, Buccaneers. God dog it. I need people to step up. I need the Knowles to win Saturday. That's what I need.
Victor Hedman's getting hurt for the Lightning. It's just a whole bunch of crap.
I haven't even turned my attention over there yet. I know we lost last night. I'm not even turning my attention over there.
I watched that in the inning breaks.
I was locked in on baseball, baby. And I'll be locked in again tonight on baseball. And you know, speaking of disappointments, I think it's supposed to pour tomorrow for trick or treat. What are we doing here?
No, is it really?
I think so. Check that weather window while we're talking. I was thinking about this morning. I got up early as I'm wont to do, and my youngest woke up at the same time. He doesn't usually, so I didn't have my normal adjustment time of relaxing, having the coffee, thinking about the day and all that. But he walked out looking oh so cute, and he says to me, "Dad, I don't care about what we have to do tonight. I mean, I understand I have a bedtime, but if you need to take me to the store to complete my outfit, then that's what needs to happen." So he's complaining, and I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "It's Halloween tomorrow, Dad, and we've made little to no progress on my outfit." Now, this is all news to me because Mom organizes the outfits. Clark is really frustrated with Mom, and he's expressing that to me at 5:45 in the morning. I'm amused by all of this, so I take another sip of my coffee and say, "So nothing has been done for what it is you're wearing tomorrow?" Knowing in the back of my mind that surely Christy has put together something because he asked about it months ago. I heard him. But I lack artistic creativity, so she has to do these things. Like, I'll go buy you a mask, but that's about the extent of my capabilities, right?
I'll get you a toe.
Yeah, she can put together actual cool things and paint and draw and do all these things. I can't do any of that. So he is an overreactor. He tends to really sell something when he's upset about it or worried about it. So he said, "No, Mom acts like Halloween's not tomorrow," is what he says to me. And I go, "I'm pretty sure she's aware that it's Halloween tomorrow." Well, we haven't made any progress. So what I'm telling you, Dad, is if you've got to take me out tonight, even if it's past my bedtime, I'm willing to go and we can get this done. That's what he said to me this morning. I'm willing to go and we can get this done. And I said, "Well, I really appreciate your sacrifice, Clark. And if we have to stay up past your bedtime and make something happen because Mom's a deadbeat, then we will." And then he said, "I mean, I don't understand." So then Christy comes walking down the hall. Now it's she's up. And I said, "Clark says, you act like tomorrow's not even Halloween." She's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, our youngest is a little frustrated with you We're both in the kitchen. He's in the other room watching cartoons. I said, he's begging me to take him out tonight, that you just have dropped the ball on this whole thing. She said, it's done. I did it weeks ago. It's fine. It's in the back in the closet. I go, I figured. Yeah, you haven't told him that. No, I haven't. I wanted to surprise him, how excited he'd be. I knew what he wanted. He told me. I go, yeah, months ago. He doesn't think you've done a thing. So I say all that to say this. I really hope we get to do it tomorrow.
Dad, I have raised my concerns.
Yeah.
There have been several car rides where I have raised my concerns.
Yeah.
I've left a couple of notes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Mom's spot on the counter, like where she puts things down. I've left some notes.
Not seeing anything. I don't know. Is she having a tough week?
Nary a response, Dad.
Nothing. I got nothing.
And so I don't feel comfortable doing this. But
if you need to take me,
and if I need to sacrifice my sleep
in order to get this done, it is Halloween tomorrow.
You know what? I think this would be.
Willing to do that.
I'm willing to do that if you are. But I want to show you how committed I am
to Halloween.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be stormy in the afternoon. You might get a break around 7, 8 o'clock. So if they're okay with doing a little bit late on the trick or treating side, like 8 to 10, it looks like you might have better weather.
What's the Thursday night game?
Really? I did not expect that question. That's 49ers Cardinals, I think.
Okay, not much.
That's a forgettable game.
Yep.
So you should be fine there on that front. And speaking of front, that storm tomorrow is the front because.
Well, I've been. By the way, this morning. Speaking of this morning and being frustrated, I walked outside my daily trip to the garbage can to start the day.
Muggy and crappy.
And I said, what the hell is Tom talking about? Tom told me we're going to have great weather this week. It's been hot and rainy. Where is this cool weather?
I said weekend, but this is the front tomorrow.
88 degrees.
The high on Friday is 65 degrees.
All righty,
according to this shimmy.
65?
65. Now, it'll be warmer than that because they always lowball you.
They're never right.
They try to feed you some hope. I've always believed this.
It's nonsense.
65 with a 47 low, and then Saturday, partly cloudy,
40s.
40s. That's right.
40s.
It says 40s tomorrow, too, but that's a load of crap. That won't be until like 3 in the morning Friday.
I'm going to get up at 3 in the morning.
It's going to be cold on Friday.
Yep.
And then Saturday, 68-44 split. So when we're kicking off at 3:30, should be in the low 70s.
Yeah.
I don't believe them. It'll be warmer than they say.
Nobody said anything about 70s.
No,
you said 68 is
they're
a
full
high.
of crap. They're full of crap.
Yeah. It'll be 76 and humid.
71 with no humidity that'll feel like 68. That's fine.
I hope it goes into the 20s and it stays there for 3.5 months. And I want to hear all the people around here bitching after it's been 105 forever.
You would after 2 weeks.
I would not. I'm going to walk out. I'll wear a thong. I'm not having it. It's going to be fantastic. I don't think I would wear a thong.
So what are you talking about, Mary Beth? Don't go playing jokes.
I just need the pick-me-up that only apparently weather and booze can provide.
If you did wear that particular piece of clothing, the first breeze.
I don't know how women do that. I'm glad
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I don't know how women wear that, but I'm glad that they do. It's just, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather.
They've got a different, set of things to worry about.
Yeah, we'd be doing. I'd do the assless chaps. I'd do that. Yeah. To celebrate the cool weather.
Bend over.
The weather on the deck of the corner pocket on Friday is going to
it's gonna be great.
Whoop some butt.
Hey, so speaking of which, this Friday, not only this would be Friday that we're going to be at the corner pocket broadcasting as we always do for home football weekends, 3 to 6. I know a lot of you are at work at that time or you're just making your way into town. I got all of that. So a lot of times people start getting in there a little bit closer to 5:30 than anything else. But you want to get there. My man, William Floyd, of course, does the color for Florida State football with the great Gene Deckerhoff, and was an all-world player here at FSU. Was an all-state player at Lakewood, and was a real good player in junior midgets as well. And a dear friend that I've now known, and this is crazy to think about again. Every time I bring his name up, I realize that I'm going back close to 40 years. But we ran track together and all that good stuff. Played football, basketball, everything else. He's going to be up there. There it is. You get a chance to go meet William Floyd and hang out for a charitable cause. It's for the Bar None Foundation, and basically helps underprivileged kids, and it's a fantastic organization. And William's a very giving guy and a great guy, and he's going to be there. I think it's 6 o'clock, and in conjunction with warchant.com.
Yep.
And so when we get off the air, we're going to stick around. It's casino night for a charitable cause, as I just mentioned, and I think I'm going to be kind of a jack of all trades, going to do some bartending, some announcing, some things like that. I look forward to it.
I think you should request doing the celebrity bartending at the outdoor deck bar.
Oh, I would like that. Outdoor deck bar.
If I were you, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
See, thankfully, I'm not bartending, so I can just enjoy the deck when we're done at 6 o'clock. And maybe I'll have a jacket on, like an extra layer.
Maybe just a windbreaker of sorts. Yeah. So that is this Friday, if you want to come meet William Floyd. That's and he is a character and a fun guy and really, really a joy to talk to. So he'll be out there on Friday night. All right, let's get into that final hour. Coming up, stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com. Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you're a fan of an action-packed environment, the Corner Pocket is the place to be. Happy hour specials every day, including all day on Sundays, with sports in HD everywhere you look. For location hours and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Let's say your little princess puts a pony on her wish list. So you check out eBay and whoa, eBay has great deals on lots of ponies. Little toy ponies, stick ponies,
Mommy's little cowgirl, look at you!
movies with ponies. eBay even has cars with supercharged ponies. Check eBay and you'll always find an unmatched selection at a price you'll love.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. We appreciate you. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. But, hey, if you get caught up doing other things, stuff that perhaps you'd rather not be doing, you can say, well, I mean, man. And then you'd find it right there on iTunes, where we post all 3 hours upon the conclusion of the show. Rate, review, share with everybody. You can email us if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at jcameronshow. The WTSM app is a good one. You can use that as well for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers and all of you who wish to watch us perform our radio duties. Hey, I just saw this during the break. Not really the lead of the five, but we don't really follow a format very strictly around these parts. The Arena Football League is about to fold, Tom.
It was still going?
I know. I said the same thing when I read the headline. I went, the Arena Football League is still about? The league announced today or yesterday that it was closing its team services and business operations in each of its 6 markets, as they called it a difficult but necessary decision. We have not yet made the final determination that it will be necessary to suspend all league operations, but we expect that decision to be made within the next few weeks. Well, my guess is you don't just willy-nilly shut things down at the league office and go, minor scare. Let's get back to doing what we do.
Yeah, it's not like a baseball rain delay. Like that's probably it.
Yeah, they're talking about the problems stem from financial constraints.
Oh, well.
That's going to be the end of that.
Are there any other kind?
Yeah. Including extensive legacy liabilities and recent multi-million-dollar lawsuits filed against the league. Ooh, that's a toughie.
What, are they getting concussion lawsuits?
I mean, who knows? They listen, this past August, they had 12,000 fans attend the Arena Bowl in Albany, New York. Did you even know that happened? First of all, they have an Arena Bowl still, and there are 12,000 diehards rolling into Albany, New York to check it out.
Hey, man, once upon a time, I was in the Thunderdome for Arena Bowl.
I was there.
Orlando, Tampa in the 90s, and that had 25,000 people there.
That was the most redneck operation I had ever been to, man. The people, it's like the same folks that are at the tractor pull. It was unbelievable. I went in there, I was like, oh, this is shaky.
They had the Caesars in the front row. Remember those guys? They dressed in the togas.
I don't remember.
There was like a guy named Caesar or something along those lines. Julius, I don't know. On the Storm. And so those guys all sat in the front row. And now, replaying that in my mind, I realized that they could barely stand or speak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But at the time, it seemed cool.
Yeah. I remember going to a few arena games, and it was something that, see and be seen type thing. About a month later, you're like, this is ridiculous. This isn't real football. I hate this. That's the way I felt about it. I really did. I hated it. But I was the play-by-play announcer for the Tallahassee.
A committed one.
Yeah. I was locked in.
Man, it reminds me, and that's what happens every time arena football comes back to, the forefront of a conversation, is the presence of arena football in Tallahassee, followed by what's next.
Oh, of course.
The Tiger Sharks.
Yeah, I missed the Tiger Sharks, something fierce.
Because I went and saw the Ice Flyers or I think it's Ice Pilots out in Pensacola about a year and a half ago. And that game was really entertaining. I mean, once you get through the first 3 or 4 minutes, and all I've watched is NHL hockey pretty much my entire life, and you realize, Well, they can't see the rink the way it needs to be seen, and they can't, shoot the puck with any velocity whatsoever. This is still awesome. It's backyard hockey, and dudes are just getting into fights left and right.
It was great.
It's its own wonderful product.
Yeah.
It's a different sport, but it's great.
I wonder how many people are listening to this show that don't remember the Tallahassee Thunder. I mean, it's 2000 to 2002. Myself, Eric Llewellyn, as the play-by-play team of the legendary organization that Monk Bonasort helped put together, and he's the one who hired us. Rest in peace, Monk Bonasort. But I can still remember those games and how. In retrospect, I would say that the between quarter shows, if you were wildly inappropriate, and God bless them. They were fantastic. It was something to be a part of. That was when you could do those sorts
of things. When you think, football in Tallahassee, you think Florida State Miami week, you think the Gators coming up to town, and you think Tallahassee Thunder.
Immediately.
Those three things.
Speaking of Miami, speaking of Florida State Miami, I haven't been able to gather one way or the other, in the gut, deep down, the direction I think that's going to go, other than close, nail-biting, fourth quarter, nervous Nelly time. It's going to happen. That's that game does not seem to, one way or the other, look like one in which the other is going to have a distinct advantage and run away with it. I think we're destined for something very, very nerve-wracking.
Is the team that leads at the conclusion of the third quarter going to win the football game? That's my question. Yeah, I don't know if I want to be up 3 or down 3.
I just got nervous with you bringing that up, man. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I feel like it's a coin flip game because we're not going to block them.
They won't block us. Got that going.
We don't have rush-ins.
But we have interior guys who can affect the quarterback, and especially since they didn't go with N'Kosi Perry, and they made their announcement today.
Another devastating announcement.
Yeah, but this is somebody who can be affected by interior pocket pressure more.
Yeah, but if he does not get that, he throws the ball a hell of a lot better than Perry. I was disappointed by that. I'll be honest with you. I really was hoping they would go to N'Kosi Perry. He's just a sorry-ass player.
Well, they might play both of them. Who knows?
Oh, man. Yeah, at this point, I just think what's interesting is more along the lines of how much do we use Cam Akers. I mean, that more than anything else. I mean, here's a kid, obviously on the cusp of a 1,000-yard rushing season already, and really is easily your best player, but also I think truly the most effective option for much of this game at quarterback. I really would run the wild Cam extensively, and Ira brought it up yesterday on some of the headlines, and this is the one area in which I didn't think about it as much. There is it's a taxing thing to do for him. He did look tired, obviously, at the end of this game, and so you do wonder how many plays could he run as a wild Cam quarterback? How what do you think? 50?
Well, I think there's a couple, probably not a couple, 6 to 8 base plays you could run with different options within the wild Cam.
I think even more than that, yeah.
That you could run to success over and over again. And then you've got some wrinkles out of there, whether it's a double pass, just some looks to the bubble, shots down the field. I mean, hell, let's just say it's pretty simple. Mm-hmm. If you want to take a shot down the field to Tamorrion Terry early in this game, and the choices are Hornibrook and Cam Akers. Who
Cam
do you want
Akers,
throwing the
baby,
football?
throw the ball. Throw it down there.
That's not a joke.
No, it's not
that's
a joke.
the right answer.
Hey, I do feel a little bit better. I expressed real grave concerns in looking back at the game against Syracuse about Hornibrook's arm, which has been obviously lacking his entire career. But when you went back, one of the throws that I brought up as evidence that that thing is just a pea shooter, is the one down the right side that falls 20 yards short of his target. Okay, admittedly. Now, there were plenty of others, but that one was affected by pressure in the face that kind of bumped his arm. So that did make me feel a little bit better. I thought, is that the best you're going to do? Because there is a moment in that game where you could legitimately, one could do what fans are prone to do, and they wouldn't be wrong in this case. They could utter to their friends, I can throw it further than that. A lot of times fans like to make these grandiose pronouncements about what they could or could not do as they see one of their heroes fail on a football field. Most of the time, the answer is they could not do that.
One of my buddies said he could beat J.J. Redick in one-on-one. Yeah.
I have to stop. I just want to stop right there. J.J. Redick has been a really good NBA player for a long time.
This is when he was at Duke. Yeah, he's like, I could beat that guy in one-on-one. Like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Did you even?
I was like, really? I wanted him to keep going. I wanted to get. If it was this day and age, I would have, turned on the camera and I would have let that kid go and taped it. But unfortunately, we didn't have those things. Well, probably fortunately, we didn't have those things.
I really think it's funny that guy said that and meant it.
He meant it.
Yeah, he got a full ride to Duke.
When our mutual friend who works in the business area down in Tampa comes up,
he'll
next
document
time, I'll bring it up and he'll say, "Oh God, yeah." He'll give you the whole rundown of the story.
Oh my God, that's rich. Okay, so having said that, when fans make these grand proclamations that they can't follow through on, you usually chuckle or whatever. You do what you do there. You roll your eyes, or you're like, "Oh, that's a doozy." Okay. But when he made that throw, I did think I legitimately could make a better throw than that. And so could most of these people around me. I mean, I was very concerned.
Yeah.
But again, seeing the replay, I'm like, okay, it was altered. It was altered. I feel better about this because that scared me. Because I started projecting. I'm like, Miami's just going to walk everybody up.
I know. The throw to DJ, though, is
it's awful.
He's got a chance to get behind that one.
No, it's terrible.
And the one to Trayshawn that's late from the end zone, he had a chance to get behind that one.
End, post, it's a terrible throw. It's late and slow.
Kendall trusts him more. I don't know.
Well, I understand that, too.
Yeah.
It's not like I've brought this up all week with the point of saying we need to go with Blackman.
Right. Yeah.
I've just said, limitations exist for both these individuals. Big time limitations exist
honestly
for these two guys.
But if you had to pin me down and say, matchup wise, who fits it better, if you had, the good version of both quarterbacks, you want good James Blackman in this game. But I can't promise anybody or
but
myself
good James
right now.
Blackman hasn't been present.
Right, since the end of the Virginia game. I think that rattled the hell out of him. That he missed those two wide open throws to McKitty on a third down and then to Tamorian down the right sideline.
Touchdown.
We win the ball game with either one of those throws.
Touchdown.
I think that's been eating at him, and I think it's affected him since.
Well, that's a confidence issue because it's not an arm strength issue, and you're exactly right. Let me say this: it's that's the real problem here. That's how Hornibrook has entered the roster and or the playing time. Because here's the deal: those throws are much easier for James. He's got a big arm. But the truth is, statistically speaking, you can look this up if you'd like. He can't hit the broad side of the barn outside the hashes. So. I mean, he can't. He does not hit anybody out there. It's woeful to watch him try to complete that pass. And that speaks to your point, which is that's a confidence thing. We've seen him make those throws last year and the year before. He made those throws. This is he missed some big-time throws in critical moments, and I think he began to doubt himself. It really is a shame because we could use that arm, man. We could use that mobility. It's not, it's not incredible mobility, but he is more mobile. And it's just
one thing to watch this week too is Kendall's comments yesterday. He said we're playing with 5 receivers and 2 running backs, which tells you that obviously the injuries have piled up at the receiver position, as we know, Keyshawn Helton and Pokey Wilson being the major 2. But then the stuff surrounding Warren Thompson, which is off the field related. Personal issues, I think, is what Willie said officially on the record, but there are a number of theories out there.
Well, hasn't he posted stuff and taken it down?
He has, but he's always, listen, man, in the spring game, I said it after the spring game, I was like, ooh, he looks like the kind that you're going to have to keep calm on the sideline. He's got a temper to him, like a real, emotional swing temper that can affect the way he plays and executes plays. But Kendall gave a lot of praise to Jordan Young. For his effort day to day, which is clearly a message being sent to somebody else in this position group, maybe the aforementioned Warren. But he's saying he works every day. He's prepared for this moment. He wanted the ball. He went to get the ball. That's another freak athlete that if we need to find one in a matchup where Miami brings a lot of athletes to the table, maybe Young gets a little bit more run this weekend, and that would be kind of fun too.
It is weird. You look at these two teams, their last 5 games, obviously Miami coming off a win 16-12 against Pitt in a game really they probably shouldn't have won, but they did. Florida State dominated Syracuse 35-17. Prior to that, a head-scratching loss for Miami against Georgia Tech, their only win for Georgia Tech in the ACC, 28-21 in overtime. Of course, we lost frustratingly to Wake 22-20. Prior to that, Miami had beaten Virginia, and the wheels have gone off a little bit for Virginia. I go back to my comments after we played them. I didn't think they were very good, and people kind of looked at me funny. I thought, no, Virginia's not very good, guys. That's one that got away.
The way they looked against Pitt in week 1 told you that they're slow. I mean, there's this real ceiling, and it's about 5'5". They're not athletic.
No, and of course we that same week that Miami beat Virginia, we got throttled by Clemson. Prior to that, Miami lost to Virginia Tech 42-35 in a crazy game.
Oh,
and we
man.
absolutely hammered NC State 31-13. And you know what's looking more and more like kind of the win of the year for Florida State up to this point? The 35-24 win against Louisville now constitutes, I think, because of the way Louisville has progressed and is playing currently, it constitutes a good win. That's a good win.
Well, and you think about the two crazy circumstances, the football-sized holes that Louisville fits into the window to score 2 touchdowns against us to even be in a position to win that game. I mean, the defense played all right.
Yeah, no, it's that's an interesting Louisville team. They're going to be a problem moving forward. They've now won 3 of their last 4, and their only loss in that mix of the last 4 was against Clemson in 45-10, which Clemson's taught that lesson to many a team in this conference.
Yes, they have, and that was, that game was interesting because Lawrence was freelancing again and making ridiculous throws. I mean, remember that? Yeah. He had the 2 in the end zone.
Crazy pick.
I mean, just asinine decisions because he knew that they were of no threat, and at the end of the day, he was right.
Well, he was, and so it is weird. They're 5-3 is Louisville, by the way. We're 4-4. An opportunity now to get to 5-4 for both the teams on Saturday. A lot on the line, rivalry game. We already know all that. No real change and a feel for Saturday other than fairly low scoring, probably a lot of penalties coming down to the wire. Neither team trusts their kicker.
I think also, this
My
series.
Goodness gracious. No, but I'm saying these two, neither team trusts their kicker at all in this circumstance. Like, you don't want to have to make a kick in this game.
That activated Siri. She got angry because for some reason I said something.
He said geez, and she was like, yes.
Or with the kicker, yeah. Maybe that just was enough. But it's one of those, I think, where on Saturday, Nole fans are going to be thinking to themselves by kickoff, did things just get better? I mean, we have different bodies on the offensive line. It looks like Kendall feels better about the offense in general. You got the wild cam. Linebackers look a little bit better. Are things getting better? And by the second quarter, I'll bet we'll know. We'll know either way. And I think the way it might lean, but we'll know.
Let me say this. Miami obviously has had to now prepare for the wild cam all week long, and I actually think it was good that we put that on film prior to this game. You want them to have to spend a lot of time on something new. But also, you also don't want it to be the first time you run it against really good players, and Miami has a lot of them on defense. You don't want this to be the first time you're doing it. You want to work out the wrinkles. You want to work in some other aspects of it. Like, you showed some things, but that's only half of what you can run off of that.
You can guarantee, maybe not, because I thought that we were going to run some sort of gadgets at to the outside against NC State because that's the way it should be. With the Wildcat, what's the one thing we haven't done yet? Well, there are 2 things. We haven't taken a shot outside the numbers, down the field.
Yeah.
What about to the seam? And that's where you put people in conflict.
Oh,
quick shot to McKitty up the seam.
McKitty's playing a lot better these days too.
Or even to Gabe Neighbors. I don't care because Neighbors is the one they'll fall for as a blocker.
Yeah.
And they'll key on him as a blocker. If he releases by him, he's got a chance. There's going to be a shot up the seam with the Wildcam this weekend.
I love Gabe Neighbors. Have I said that enough?
You did in preseason camp too.
I liked him in preseason. Listen, I know he's limited. People bring that up a lot. I like him, man. He's a football player. He is. Just such a lazy analysis there, but he is. He does the dirty work. He's tough. He's thick-bodied. He's a good blocker, and he'll catch it if you throw it to him. He's,
He had a touchdown against Wade, or was it the 4th down conversion, whatever it was, but he got the corner. He needed to get the corner, and he found a way.
I like the guy a lot. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
Times can be tough, but A late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
It may technically be autumn, but DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener are running out a sizzling hot sale. Cordless deals that can't be beat. If you buy 2 select tools, get a dual 5-amp starter kit free. If you want to go bigger and better, buy a 2-piece premium brushless hammer drill impact kit, and you can pick a select free bare tool and get a third 5-amp battery free. That's 3 tools, 3 5-amp batteries. Or buy a 3-speed brushless impact kit and get a second impact kit for free. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, with the pros and serious do-it-yourselfers shop. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
At Sport Clips Haircuts, we're on a mission to help our veterans with their education. In 2013, we established the VFW Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program. With the help of your generous donations, we've raised over $6 million and awarded more than 1,400 scholarships across the country. Visit Sport Clips today and help a hero. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate an additional $1 for every haircut we give. Help us continue this honorable mission.
The Jeff Cameron Show podcast, available on demand at ESPNTallahassee.com and on iTunes today. The Jeff Cameron Show podcast is brought to you by Garnet and Gold of Tallahassee. When you buy FSU apparel, support local business. GarnetandGold.com.
AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer holiday lighting? AAA holiday lighting services include design consultation, setup, and takedown maintenance and lighting storage. Call them today for all your outdoor holiday lighting needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping, and now holiday lighting.
People trust Sellers for better tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Sellers Flooring Advisor Ryan Fitzgerald.
We understand most people don't come in with great knowledge of what they're looking for or what they need. So at Sellers, what we try to do is use our expertise to guide you through the process.
Get Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What was your favorite Halloween costume of all time that you wore personally? Not that you saw somebody else wear. What was your favorite character or...
Well, it's different age groups, right? Different things.
Yeah, by the way, that's a question for today or tomorrow for that matter. But tomorrow we got gambling to talk about. What's the age? When do you cut it off? When you say, man, come on, you're too old. What are you doing out here trick-or-treating?
I think middle school at some point you got to cut it off, right?
Yeah, I think so. Bryce is in that in-between age. He's in middle school. He's in 6th grade. I asked him this morning, you going to trick-or-treat? He goes, of course. But here's the key. I said, okay, but you don't have a costume. He's like, no, I told Mom just to get me a mask. I don't really care. I'm like, see, that's it.
Yeah,
When you stop caring what you are.
But he gets bailed out because how many
got a
years?
little brother.
Yeah, right. How many years? 3 years?
2.5.
2.5. So yeah, he gets a couple extra Halloweens out of it. That's where my older siblings got the best of it because I'm 8, 10,
They
and
had to
11
take
years
you,
of
yeah.
separation. So when I was a little kid, the Ninja Turtles. I was Michelangelo.
I figured I could have guessed that.
That was badass.
Yeah, you liked it.
One year I was the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and that something about that costume. I'll tell you, the smell of the whatever material they used was awesome because
liked
usually
it?
they stink.
Yeah,
usually
they
the
do stink.
costumes
Yeah,
kind of
they're
stink.
awful, yeah.
Middle school was the Scream guy. I was
You
the
were the
Scream guy.
Yeah. You and half the country that year.
I had a knife and I had it was awesome.
I think I was George Washington one year, which I really liked because of the wig.
Yeah.
The white wig, you know. That was a good one. I mean, I was there was a stretch because you have to remember in my youth, that's when Star Wars came out.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was Darth Vader.
Was it C-3PO? No.
I wasn't. My brother was.
He was?
Yeah, he was C-3PO. I was Darth Vader, and I think I was Darth Vader like 3 out of 4 years. I was so infatuated with Darth Vader as a kid. Still like Darth Vader. It's really the best thing about Star Wars is Darth Vader. But that and what you might call it, Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, not Obi-Wan. Who's the, you can tell.
Yoda.
No, you can tell I've lost interest in all this. The assassin.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett. I used to like Boba Fett a lot.
Oh, Boba Fett Kenobi.
Yeah, you can tell I don't care about the Star Wars movies anymore. Boba Fett. I liked Boba Fett because he was an assassin.
Every time you bring up Obi-Wan Kenobi, I got to show you that video of the guy overseas who's doing like the evangelical show.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No, somebody sends him a request, and he's like, I just want to tell you about my experience with spirituality. There was this man named Obi-Wan Kenobi who taught me about the life force and the force of things.
Boba Fett was awesome. I wanted to be him. I also liked, what were the sand people called? The
Tusken Raiders, sand people.
They were the sand people.
Yeah.
They were actually called the sand. Yeah. Yeah, I like the sand people. I remember getting those figures and loving the sand people.
Yeah, they're so weird looking, man. Like little gears for eyes.
Yeah.
Like dudes from West Virginia.
So when I was, that's right.
The hills.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be, my mom, I think, finally got mad and said, you can't beat Darth Vader every year. I'm like, but he's Darth Vader. I mean, there's no beating Darth Vader.
So when we were on vacation, well, not vacation, my mom and I were visiting my grandma. I was very young, and we were at a supermarket, and I found $50 in the ground. And so
nice.
She said, well, turn it in, and if it goes 30 days, then you can keep the $50. Well, nobody turned it in, and so my grandma sent the $50 down to us. We went to Disney, MGM Studios at the time, and they had just the new Star Tours ride. It used to be an hour and a half, 2 hour line for this Star Tours simulator thing.
People
like Body Wars at Epcot.
For 2 hours.
Yeah.
Insane.
Right. So I bought a Darth Vader mask with it. It still sits on my desk back home. It was $48. So my mom had to chip in a couple of bucks for the tax.
I think, by the way, the closest I've come to aligning with some of your childlike sensibilities, meaning I mean that in a positive way. I'm not saying you. Yeah.
I've got my opening night tickets.
I'm sure you do. Is this upcoming renovation of Epcot? I've gotten excited about that because that actually takes me back to my youth. They haven't changed that place in 50 years. It looks ridiculous.
Well, but they got rid of Horizons. I love that ride because there was one part where it smells like oranges, and you're like, that's just it's nice. But they are, yes, and they're adding stuff for both adults and kids, and there's going to be a restaurant that
apparently is really cool.
You're basically a satellite in space. It's immersive. Every window looks like a picture from the satellite imagery that they get. So you're watching Earth.
Awesome.
You're looking down at Earth from what you would see out in space. But yeah, we're doing that in just after New Year's. I'm going down there.
It's all done after New Year's?
Oh, no. It's going to be under construction for a couple of years. But some of the good stuff will be open, like the pubs, at Epcot. But we'll go down to dinner at Hollywood Studios, ride the good roller coasters, and then pop over to Epcot. And it's open till 11 for pass holders. Hell yeah, man. That's a nice weekend.
I normally just kind of go, each to his own when you talk about that stuff, but I'm actually now really excited.
You go to Epcot, you go to the pub, in England, and you watch the fireworks and stuff. That's solid. That's universal.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. It's going to be good. I can't wait for the new Epcot restaurant when that thing opens up. There you go. You have to tell me when that's happening.
You saw Rogue One, didn't you?
Maybe. Is that the one where they...
Where Darth Vader just at the end of this, he lays waste to people?
That's the last one I saw, yeah.
That's like the best scene in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Of all the scenes.
Yeah, I saw that one. And how many have there been since?
Two
or three?
Two.
I lose
track.
track.
The solo one, which was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the pits, but it's all right. And then this 8 one that people are divided on.
This new one coming up?
Huh?
Isn't there one coming up?
No, the new one is 9. So, yeah, 8 was the one people were
And
divided
now this is
on.
it. They're going to stop making them after this?
No, they're just going to go off to a different part of the. It's this saga is Dunsky's.
Ever ends.
That's okay.
Okay, I butchered that. I really got off track there. I just wanted to talk about Halloween for a second.
So, did you ever dress up in high school, like going to class? Like, did you when you went to school?
No.
That's probably a private school thing, huh?
You guys did that, right? You went to the private
yeah.
school. Yeah, no, we didn't do that. No.
Oh, yeah, we dress up going to high school.
I think the latter years I was literally just a ghost. I'd put a white sheet over my whole body. I know that's dangerous. And then cut out the holes with the eyes, and I'd just go, ooh.
No pointy top to the
No,
head,
there's
dude,
just a sheet. And
who was that, Pip, I think, in South Park?
Yeah.
No, Cartman did it.
Yeah,
Cartman was
did
it.
it. Yeah.
I'm a ghost.
It's Jeff Cameron Show.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Consultation today. If you can come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all-day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
You can't protect against everything life has in store, but you can sure try. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, we help you protect your investment with regular maintenance options that can keep your system safe. Receive same-day service when you sign up for the Total Comfort Service Program at baranoac.com. Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
The new $5 million luck scratch-off is here. To find one, there's a special call. It goes like this. Luck, 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 luck. If you do it long enough and loud enough, someone is bound to get you one in order to make it stop.
The new $5 million luck scratch-off with more than $329 million in cash prizes. Find yours today. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it.
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3533. 833-5. That's Games for Less.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
Times can be tough, but getting a late model car is easy at Champion Auto Sales. Champion Auto Sales can quickly approve you, no matter how bad your credit. Bankruptcy, repossessions, bad credit, no credit. Champion Auto Sales can have you writing today. Give them a call at 850-999-8395 or visit them on the web at championautofl.com. Their brand is quality and credit approval is guaranteed. Champion Auto Sales, 2754 West Tennessee Street across from TCC. Stop by today.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday, brought to you by Hobbit American Grill. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving good food to good friends for good times. Online at myhobbitonline.com.
Game 7, baby. Really kind of what you asked for, right? A season that has been a lot of fun comes to an end tonight in what has been a fantastic series. It's interesting. I wonder if you ask both teams, game 1, week 1. Let's bypass all of this. I'll give you one game. Game 7 for the World Series, for the World Championship, for all the marbles. Or you could just play out the season and see what happens. I think the Nats would have taken that all day long.
The Nats would have. Yeah, they would have said yes before you finished.
Yeah.
They could have said you're only going to play with 7.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Houston, maybe not so much. I think Houston probably finds themselves a little shocked to be in this predicament.
Who's on the hill?
Everybody. Scherzer's going for the Nats, and Greinke, unfortunately, is going for Houston.
I just mean Houston would have asked
that would
question.
be the question.
Yeah,
I thought you meant for real tonight, just because it is kind of a hodgepodge. Well, but yeah,
MLB Network did it right though when they put that it's Greinke Cole versus Scherzer Corbin. They put the two of them and their numbers together because they figure first sign of trouble.
Opening price of that game was Houston minus 136. The dog has won everything. It's been crazy. It's just been all go run with it on the money with the dog, and you've had a good day at the office.
Really interesting conversation. The coverage last night from MLB Network was spectacular. That's not atypical for that TV channel.
Really good.
But there was a long discussion between Mark DeRosa and Pedro Martinez. It didn't. I don't think the segment was aimed to go this way, but it ended up being awesome. About cortisone shots and the impact they have and how long it takes to feel good after a cortisone shot and whether or not there's danger or not. And, of course, that's with a conversation directed towards Max Scherzer and the issue he has around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they were talking about, and Pedro said, was I need to get loose earlier in order to know if my body is in more danger, what my body is capable of doing, or if I'm actually just okay. DeRosa, in his experience as a position player, says, you shoot me up, the next day I'm good to go. But Pedro said, yeah, but I need to know what my body is telling me because I have to have my arm in the right place, I have to have the pressure on the baseball the right way, and I have to know what the new normal is so that I can play off of the effect of the medicine.
For him. D-Row was not a pitcher. So, I mean, that changes everything. Look, at the end of the day, he had that cortisone shot because he couldn't move his right arm. So I don't know how effective he's going to be one way or the other. Now, he got that treatment, plus he got treatment from a chiropractor. He did throw in the outfield before Game 6, so you had that, and they had him ready to go in the pen. I Listen, it's all hands on deck. That's what we do know. It's if he rolls out there and deals tonight, this will be a big story. It will be talked about for years to come. It'll be a signature moment in his career. It'll be the stuff of legend like Curt Schilling with the bloody sock and all that. Admittedly, no matter what we think of Curt Schilling, the person, which is not much, I would say that is one of the more sports-related heroic moments I've ever seen. And when they went back and you watch that documentary, there was no fudging of anything. He was in pain. They literally did a mini surgery on him before he went out there. It's crazy what he was able to accomplish in that moment. There's no taking that away from him as much as I would like to. That said, I don't think Scherzer is as bad off, but obviously he's limping down the stretch, to say the least. Only it's the shoulder, it's the arm. Look, he was in agony. By all rights, it was crushing his nerve, and he was in agony. So if he goes out and deals tonight, okay.
Well, and that's what they were talking about too. Is not all pitching motions are created equal. His happens to have a really herky-jerky motion in the specific area where he's not feeling so hot. So there are some dudes who are very simple, overhand, and it's a minimal delivery, and like it's Noah Syndergaard. He's mostly from the stretch almost, and kind of a standard, not crazy where he drops down. But Scherzer is in a place where he might even feel okay, but you have to almost have somebody ready and warm at all times.
I think at the start of the game, well, listen, they'll go into this game because they don't trust that bullpen whatsoever, and for good reason. It's been garbage. My guess is, and from everything I've read this morning, or early this morning, then into this afternoon before we started the show, Patrick Corbin, Anibal Sanchez, Daniel Hudson, Sean Doolittle, Steven Strasburg could pull a Randy Johnson and come out and give you 10 to 15 pitches. Hence, they pulled him in the ninth. We talked about this earlier in the show, which was a weird
Make
deal.
up your damn mind of what you're going to do.
Yeah, it was weird. I will say this. There was a quote from Strasburg after the game. And first of all, I want to give that guy kudos because he came out and had nothing. And he's getting hit, and it's an avalanche waiting to happen. After that first home run, then the next pitch is hit to the deepest part of the park, and Soto catches it, and it looks like he twists his ankle up against the fence when he makes that catch.
Yeah, it felt like the Ryan Howard ending to Philly season. You're like, okay.
Oh, no.
So they just squandered their early advantage.
1-0 lead.
And now Soto's ineffective. He's done.
Hey, you see him. Little did we know, nothing could be further from the truth as Soto.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's
now got two of those that have left the park.
Well, and that ballpark has seen some of the most spectacular postseason home runs in baseball history.
It's crazy. He just turned 21. He's doing that. But anyhow, Strasburg's quote that I was referencing after last night's game was, I gave it everything I had, everything I got. I think he did. He had to find the emotional reservoir, right? He had to go back and find, because he was a mess after one inning. You're like, oh, it's going to be an awful night. What is it with these aces going out here in these pressure moments? There are so many great ones over this. I mean, Verlander, his career is defined in some weird way now by these terrible outings in the World Series. Catfish Hunter did this. We've obviously seen with Kershaw in his career, his inability to get outs in the World Series. What's going on?
And it's specifically the World Series with Verlander, because if you look at
dominated
his,
everywhere else.
And if you look at his ERA in postseason clinching games, even though it's not spectacular, it's still like a 3.06.
It's still good. Yeah.
Right. But you could see it. To me, the at-bat that told me, for Verlander, and I understand that the next half inning, they end up, the Nationals and Strasburg give up 2 runs to, it's a double, and they gets the third, and
the bomb,
and the bomb. But it's a 1-2 pitch to Rendon, and Verlander throws a breaking ball away. And it's a 2-2 pitch. And John Smoltz says it, and he's absolutely right, because everything was breaking ball away.
John Smoltz is Tony Romo. Those two have...
He's unbelievable. And he's so right about this, because he first guesses, he says, well, you have to throw a fastball up here to change his eye level at 2-2. You have to. If you want to land that pitch, this is essentially the point he's making, but he says, you got to throw a fastball here. He doesn't. So the 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball away. Now it's 3-2. He does it again. He throws the same damn pitch, 3-2, breaking ball away. That's all Rendon's seen the last handful of pitches. And what do you think happens? He goes with the pitch to right field, and it's 1-0 Nats. If you change his eye level in that moment, then the pitch away becomes more valuable. But that tells me that Verlander didn't trust his fastball in that moment. He was scared.
Well, he's tired. I think more than anything, we know he's out of gas. This is where age does matter. He's able to do this in the regular season, but think about all the extra games he's pitched in now. And at that age, it appears to be catching up. I think he's out. He looks like a shot pitcher to some extent. He started to look it against the Rays. So you're starting to see that mislocation, fastball up when he is throwing it, not the same MPH. I just think these older guys, and you look at the end of careers with Catfish Hunter and Vita Blue and a lot of these, and now you're too young to remember those, but I do remember those guys. These are all timers that have had terrible problems in World Series outings. These are guys that are some of the greatest to ever pitch.
Yeah, you know what's driven me nuts? You're talking about all these pitchers having moments. I mean, have you seen how many times have there been overthrown or choked breaking balls in the dirt that go 55 feet? Yeah. I haven't seen that much in like a week of watching the Marlins play or something like that.
I think when these games where the moments become ratcheted up to critical mass, you really do appreciate the guys that have professional at-bats. Ryan Zimmerman had, a 10 or 11 pitch at-bat there. You talk about running a count up and doing those kinds of things that don't always show up in the box score. Rendon is probably oftentimes the best player on the field. He has the best ABs. That guy has an understanding of the strike zone that is second to none. He's a defensive whiz. He's a legitimate MVP candidate, but he plays like it all the time. And it's just, I marvel at these little things that all add up over time. I mean, sometimes he gets the actual hit, of course, but it's fun to watch.
Well, I go back to, and it'll be important tonight to watch if Scherzer does go into, 3-4 innings deep at minimum. Remember, in his start in Houston to begin this series, he was awful. And he was fighting through with his D+, C- stuff.
He's fought through it for 5 innings.
And he's ahead at the end of it, which is just heroic because he's going against Cole, who hadn't been hit at any point.
That's what the great ones do, though, right?
But good God, Suzuki had to make 9 blocks.
There's another unheralded stud.
Right, on 55-foot breaking balls. Yeah. And I think that's something you got to watch for tonight in terms of advancing bases. I mean, it came into play early last night with the aggressive base running after a leadoff double, and that's what got the Astros going. You think, this is going to be a coronation tonight. It just didn't end up going that way. The series was largely forgettable in the nation's capital, but in Houston, it's been pretty awesome.
It's been awesome. Yeah, it has been. By the way, then there are those who don't play to the back of their baseball card for whatever reason that leave us scratching our heads over time because there is no such thing as clutch in baseball and all that. George Springer has 7 home runs in 13 World Series games, folks, including one against the Dodgers in Game 7 last year. I mean, think about that guy.
Yeah, if there's only one dude who hits a home run tonight, you're going to guess it's Springer for the Astros or Soto, right? Well, probably Rendon for the Nats.
Yeah, Bregman has 3 home runs in World Series games too. Alex Bregman does. He's hit a bunch of them too. I mean, it's crazy when you look at, and he also has 6 walks. Yeah, that's a complete team. If the Nationals win this thing, holy moly. I mean, good on you. That's a great lineup, good team. Very, very, we said before the playoffs started, nobody wanted to see them. But that Astros team is probably as complete a team as there is in Major League Baseball. Hence, they are the defending World Series champions and now in a game away from doing it again. But that's the Nationals have had to reach down deep, baby.
Honestly, when it became 7-2 last night and you knew that this was going to a Game 7, I thought, man, this whole town should assemble to watch this game. I know that we don't have any skin in the game here, but geez, I feel more compelled to watch this one than I did even the Cubs. And I understand all the history that went this series, like the makeup of this series, and you're looking at these 4 potential pitchers tonight, 2 for each side that are going to get you through at least 6 innings. Okay, this has been up to the hype and then some.
I was looking at the Astros to see who was available according to their guys, and AJ, who I think is probably the best manager in baseball and really does such great work with all the measurements that he gets, all the analytics and how to use them. Verlander said yesterday, I could pitch in Game 7 if I were AJ. I'd go, no, that's good. That's okay. We're not going to need
Maybe if we're up 11-2, we'll give you an out.
I don't know.
We'll give you 1 out.
Maybe. I don't want to kickstart anything. All hands on deck is what they're saying, obviously. Will Harris worked yesterday, so I don't know. He only threw 5 pitches, so I don't know. He might be available. Joe Smith, Josh James, Roberto Osuna. And then, obviously, Garrett Cole strikes me as the guy that's going to be the hero tonight.
You think so?
I do. He's got a whole lot of MFer
It's not because it's going to be personally devastating to you. It's not a personal angle. It's just about Garrett Cole, the pitcher.
Not at all. No, I mean, I like Garrett Cole. Listen, he was our number 1 draft pick. He showed up. He played well. He wasn't the dominant ace that he is now, but hell, that's just the fate of all Pittsburgh Pirates. But what I would tell you is he's got a whole bunch of what for. And in this moment requires a whole bunch of what for. And so on short rest, he's never done it. But if he knows he doesn't have to pitch again for the entire offseason, obviously, I think he'll dial that thing in there and throw 99.
Well, but the question is, when he's coming into the game, what's the situation? Is he coming to clean up a mess? Is he coming to hold the fort? That changes a lot about your approach and probably your mindset.
Well, and he actually said that. He said when he was asked about preparation for a moment like this, where short rest and all that comes into it, it's all hands on deck. How would you handle it? It's a good thing that you brought up there, Tom, because he said, well, the thing is you want to be prepared for the situation. You want to know what you're being asked to do. I would rather just anticipate having my card called as opposed to not. So I'm going to go into tonight thinking I'm going to pitch. So, and you know how important that is. Like, what am I being? Okay, I've got to pitch tonight.
Oh, Roldis Chapman.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to be asked to close this game. We need you for the 8th.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh?
What? I just threw 64 last night. Oh, all right. I guess I'm coming in now. Yeah.
I don't feel the same adrenaline as I usually do.
Yeah.
That's okay, Roldis. Don't you worry.
It'll work out, which it did, but oddly. He said that he's going to anticipate that he is going to pitch and that you have to when you're on this stage because you can't just try to turn on a switch. You got to be ready and the mind's got to be right. He also added, and this is why I think if he gets the chance, he'll pitch well. He goes, this is a blast. This is unbelievable. Like he thinks this is, there are the guys who are going, ooh. There are guys who are really scared right now. And then there are guys like, how about this? When I was in the backyard as a kid, this is the stuff I did.
The one guy that I root for on both teams is Joe Smith. Call him the great American hero, Joe Smith. He pitched for the Mets in the 06 NLCS, the one we lost. And it was clear that season. It was clear by middle of September that our primary setup guy, Aaron Heilman, was garbage and that Joe Smith was far superior.
Aaron freaking Heilman.
And, well, you know who gave up the home run to Molina. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. It wasn't Joe Smith.
No.
And so if he comes in to pitch, I hope he pitches well. I always root for that guy because we could have been so beautiful together in New York. But you know who he ended up marrying was, and still married to, Allie LaForce, who's the used to be the CBS 330 SEC sideline reporter.
I don't remember her.
She does NBA work now for Turner Broadcasting.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, she's a good reporter.
Right.
But
that's more important.
She's on the TNT team with Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller last week for the Clippers and Lakers game. And Kevin Harlan said, so what happened to the Astros those first couple? I mean, he was messing with her live on the broadcast about her husband. I thought, way to go, Kevin Harlan.
Kevin Harlan is one of my favorite announcers in all the world, and I hate that they ruin a nightly occurrence of greatness by throwing him in with Reggie freaking Miller, who is, my God, that guy would amuse himself staring at a wall.
This is awesome.
Just the dumbest guy. It is impossible.
No, Reggie's sister is a better analyst. I'm not. Cheryl Miller's fuck.
Whoa, hey.
Bleep that out.
Shit.
Yeah, yep.
Cheryl Miller is great.
That's right.
I like Cheryl Miller. She is fantastic. By the way, you know how you talked last week, I think it was? We were reading the stats on...
Hopefully cleanly.
We were talking about Strasburg and others about the curveball. Strasburg, after last night, Carlos Correa was asked about Steven Strasburg and why was he so effective after the first inning. Quote, his curveball has a lot of spin. Really does feel like it's going to hit you in the face, and then it lands in there for a strike. Just when you get used to that, well, his changeup looks like a fastball, and you swing at it, and you look like an idiot. So, yeah, he's really good. That quote, what a great quote.
That's freaking awesome.
It looks like it's going to hit you in the face until it drops in for a strike. That's good stuff, Carlos Correa. Anyhow, do we have that tonight? We got that? What are we doing?
Oh, you're damn right we do.
Okay,
right here on these. You hear Dan Schulman. You know, he retired from the TV booth, but he still does World Series for ESPN Radio.
I like Dan Schulman.
Much to our benefit.
Yeah, Dan does a good job. You know who else I like? I like when he does the games on our radio airwaves with what's-her-face? Can never remember her name. She's Monday. She does it all year long with Alex Rodriguez and
Jessica Mendoza.
I knew it was Mendoza. I couldn't remember Mendoza. Yeah, Jessica Mendoza does a very good job.
The Mets hired her as a consultant.
Recently?
She's doing both jobs. I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know. I like her that much, but I mean, she does a real good job at the broadcasting, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will hire agents.
I don't.
I don't know what you guys.
We should just. We should bring Bobby Bowe on so he can earn his money. Have him do something.
He'd just sit around chuckling.
That's more than he's doing to earn the money now.
He's loving life now. Good work out of you, save for that one split second in time. Great work out of you. What? That was funny.
Yeah, I know.
What are we going to next? Front Row Knowles.
We're going to the Front Row Knowles.
You're damn right. I gathered myself. Way to go, Jerry's Cigars. Yay, Jerry's. Up next is Front Row Knowles.